Hello, welcome to Inside China Auto. Welcome to Chengdu. We are here today at the Chengdu Auto Show, which is a big mid-year auto show in China. There's a lot of new releases here today. And what we're going to do, as we always do, is give you a full walkthrough of the entire event. You can see the number behind me, 16. We are outside hall 16. We've got 16 halls to cover. It's going to be a long video. Obviously, I don't know how long just yet, but I'm going to take you through, show you everything that's going on. Let's take a look. So we start here in the luxury vehicle hall, and this is where you get some of the bigger legacy brands, let's say. Obviously you've got your Rolls-Royce over here and Porsche over on the left side. Porsche suffering quite badly in China at the moment, actually. Sales down quite a bit, but you can see, I mean, they're still popular. Stand still has quite a few people on. These stands, the luxury stands in here, tend to be less populated because they're kind of access, invitation only. It's a beg for seats on there. Now, this is the first public day that we're here in Chengdu. A lot of colour on the Porsche stand, which I really like. I love that they've got a wide colour palette on here. It's going to get more interesting than these brands, I can tell you that. We've got Lamborghini here as well. On the right side, literally nobody on the Lamborghini stand at all. On the right side, we've got Kede. So what these guys do is they kit out things like the Mercedes V-Class over here, sorry, and Ford Bronco even. That is, to be fair, quite a funky Bronco. Look at that. Kind of metallic pink colour with a full pink interior. That's really cool. We've got Bentley over on the other side, over there. We've got kind of a kitted out Landrover scene over here. So we've got some Defenders from Mengshi, so they also do some editing. We've got a muscle man there next to the car. Lotus, of course. They've not got anything new here today, but they've of course got the Emea, which you can see here. I've seen quite a few of these in China actually. Not sure how well they're doing elsewhere in the world, but they're very good. And the Electra over there, and the Emira over at the back as well. Now we've got Mengshi, and I think we should be able to go directly. Oh no, we can't go into the Mengshi. So all the stands in this room are kind of invitation only. Mengshi is a brand, luxury SUV brand from Dongfeng. Not sure if we can just walk on. Can we walk on? I think we're going to walk on. So this is the Mengshi M800. I mean, you can see how aggressively styled these are. They're designed to look very kind of military-esque. This one's actually tuned by Lorenzo. You can see a bit of Lorenzo stuff on there. And let's see if we have the Magnum handgun door handles here that they have in the Mengshi. You can see we've got a bright orange interior. I don't want to disturb these guys while they're filming. But apparently these are in Switzerland right now. They are either electric or extended range electric vehicles, usually about 900 horsepower. Where you can see the very military applications that they go for with these. This one packing a lot of kit on it, chunky tires, even pickaxes there and tire sealants and stuff. They look very aggressive and they're very expensive. And this is a concept for a new one, which is coming soon, I believe. The M Hunter, or the M Bastard as I called it in Beijing. That one could be quite interesting as well. This is the standard 917 over here. That's kind of like the base version, if you can have a base version of an M Hero. And then we've got over here more tuning brands. So this is, you don't see many Broncos in China, but look at the size of those wheels. That is outrageous. I'm trying to see the size on there, but I can't. But that looks, I think it's Mansory. It might be Mansory over there. This is pretty much a tuning hall, so I'm not going to spend too long in here because this isn't really where the fun stuff is, unless tuning is your deal. This is another one of those brands that does kitted out V-classes. If I can just dive down the side here, I'll give you a little brief insight into this, because you don't see so many of these in Europe. But I'll give you a little insight into here. Just look under that guy's car there. Got fancy lights in the roof, super luxurious seats inside. You get screens, you've got a TV up in the back there as well. So these guys do all that, and they put these horrific, hideous grills on the front of these cars. There's a few more Broncos and G-Classes and Land Rovers tuned by Lummer. And then we've got, down at the end, one final car stand in this hall. So let's briefly get us out of the way. Oh, no, we got two. There's another one over there. This one is USSY, USSY. I mean, look at that. G Pattern X. So it's obviously based on a GMC. I think it's a Yukon, is it? I've never seen any of these in China on the roads. Nobody really seems to be that afraid of getting gunned down in China to need a car quite as aggressive as that. So that is the first from hole 16. And what I will do is I'll skip between the holes, but while I'm walking out of this one, let me briefly tell you a little bit more about the show. So Chengdu, as I said, it's a big mid-year auto show in China. So the big ones are Beijing and Shanghai, Guangzhou at the end of the year. And Chengdu is a big mid-year show. It's actually more of a show for dealers in China. The dealers, I'll show you some views while I'm walking down here. So it's more for the dealers. They get a lot of business out of this, showing people what cars they're selling. If you want to know more about the Chinese auto market, you're going to see a lot of electric cars today. Electric cars and electrified cars. In July, they made up more than 51% of China's automotive market. And that shows you the growth, because this is an enormous market. Tens of millions of cars sold in China every year, and now more than 50% are EV. And after an interview yesterday with Qin Li Hong, one of the co-founders of NIO, he said that their statistics show that 95% plus customers in China, once they go to EV or electrified vehicles, they never go back. And that means that that curve of growth for electric vehicles is only going to grow, which of course is going to cause challenges here at places like Porsche, because they've only got one. Oh no, they've got two EVs now actually. They've got the Taycan and the Macan at the back. But obviously they're going more electric, so maybe they can preserve themselves. Now what I'll do is I'll skip forward to the next hole at this point, and I'll see you there. Now here at hole 15, and we've got some Chinese brands in here. Quite a lot of music as well, so hopefully you can still hear me over the music. lynkco, got a very colourful stand over there. We'll start at lynkco because JAC are having a party over there, it seems. On the other side, quite loud, so that's not going to make things easier. Now here we go. This is, I think, a public debut for the lynkco Z10. This is their first fully electric car for a brand that is pretty much purely hybrid. Going fully electric, of course, is quite important. They need to kind of try and differentiate themselves from Zeekr. Of course, they've got the lynkco twin lights, the kind of new interpretation of that on the front. This is based on the lynkco Zero concept. It's called the Z10. Let's see if I can have a little dive inside with the camera. There will be people in this video. Just have a look over there. Got a big screen in the middle. Got some soft stuff on the dashboard in here. People in the back seats, so I can't really show you those at the moment. Here's the back end of the car. Our dealers are showing us the space in the back, decent amount of space in the back of the car. It's quite a sleek thing, this. We haven't driven it yet, but hopefully we will in the near future. As I said, based on Geely's SEA platform. People taking photographs by the cars, I need to avoid. This is the 08, of course. This has been out for a while. Again, hopefully you can hear me. I'll try and cover the microphone with my hand a little bit so you can hear a bit more of what I'm saying. This is the 07. We've got a review of this coming out very soon. By the time you watch this, you might have already seen it. It might already be live. But this is a good looking car. This is a hybrid. That was launched in Shanghai, and party's really loud over there. That was launched in Shanghai. This is the 06, small SUV, and this is basically the old boy of the group. This is a full petrol car, the 03. We've got a review of this on our channel. Quite an attractive one, but it is really from the old generation of lynkco now. And they've also kind of got an update on the 01 there as well, which is, again, another small SUV. I believe this one is on sale in Europe, actually. All right, let's see if we can dive away from the music and head towards Audi. Audi have brought this very colourful RS e-tron GT. They're currently third in the in the German premium brand standings. There's a Q4 e-tron again in kind of racing colours. This is the new Q7. But I got to say, the German brands are losing ground in China compared to their highs. Brands like liauto with better products, more equipment, more efficient drivetrains, and you can see the interest on this side of the stand at least, not particularly high. That's one thing I want you to notice, by the way, in these videos. Look at the legacy brands. When we get to their stands, just take a look at how many people are on them and how many people are looking around them. Because that's quite indicative of the trends in the Chinese markets. I don't think there's anything really that much more exciting coming up in here. We do have a new Audi Q8. Some really loud audio over the top. I don't know why at these auto shows they put the speakers on so loud. It makes it quite difficult to enjoy. As I said, the German brands are under attack. They're under attack from liauto, from Neo, from Xiaopeng, from Zeekr. All these brands are starting to take market share from these guys. I think they'll still be here for a while yet, but their cars are just not making the same waves that they used to do. There's a kind of a inside of the body of an Audi A6, I believe that is. You got your luxury Horch brand over there, which you do see every now and then. I'll come back down this side. Another thing I'm going to do during this video is put a tally of the number of Chinese brands in the top corner, because I want to show you how many brands there are in China. They're not all here, believe it or not, but you'll see by the end of the video exactly how many Chinese brands we came up with. And by Chinese brands, I want to define that as pure Chinese, so not joint ventures like GAC Honda or Dongfeng Honda. I don't want to count those. They are kind of Chinese brands, and there are some China market specific cars on there, but I'm not going to call them a pure Chinese brand because they are kind of a duplicate of GAC and a duplicate of Toyota and Honda and brands like that. So this is the Genesis stand. Now again, take a look at the interest on this stand. There's a few people, but I can tell you from personal experience here in China, seeing these is a big rarity. They made a massive splash in China 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, here's a nice car, the G90. Let's have a look at this. They made a massive splash in China about 3 years ago. This is their limousine. Let me see if I can get a look around this. Big splash in China, big marketing campaign. They had drone light shows in Shanghai, showing the logo in the sky. I mean, I wouldn't mind driving this, giving it a try. This might be an L version. You'll see in the back here, we've got screens there on the back of the seats. Controls for, I think, audio and seats and stuff on the back. Certainly very spacious. And if we just dive into the front there, you can see that's the dashboard over there. But as I said, they're not doing well. That looks like a longer version. That's a different model, I think, on the other side. But yeah, a little bit of interest. There's quite a few people over at Audi over there taking a look. But as I said, the market trend is clear. We're going electrified. And if you want to win in electrified, you've got to offer the right products, and the German brands are not really doing that so much right now. Land Rover is still quite as popular. I'd say still a few people looking around here, checking out all these Defenders. And Discovery Sports. I think they're still called Discovery Sport. One of the new brands actually coming. So Land Rovers are made in China by Chery, who we'll go and see later. Chery are actually launching a Freelander brand, so resurrecting the Freelander name, but it will be owned by Chery, I believe. So they're launching the Freelander brand at some point. They're not at this show yet, but they will show they'll make new SUVs, probably electric versions as well. And then at the back end of the stand here, you've got Jaguar, who, again, you don't see very often. At least they still sell the beautiful F-Type over here. But Not a lot of interest there on the stand. Sorry. I'm going to try and take this slowly today because some people said I made the mistake last time with my camera movement, so I'm going to try and be more moderated this time. It's less crowded than Beijing was, so it should be easier. This is JAC. So there's our first Chinese brand. Sorry, not our third Chinese brand. Here is our third. JAC. People trying to get free stuff, I think, on this stand. Let me see if they've got anything new on JAC. I don't think they have. But we'll dive in. Hopefully you can still hear me. Got pickup trucks, of course. These are getting sold in markets like Australia and around the world. This is one I really want to drive. I want to test this one. The JAC E05. This is quite a small car, it's a bit like a Mini. It's got Mini-like lights on the front there, as you can see. If I have a quick dive through the window here, you see there, you've got the screen inside, and there you can see the back seats of the car. So this lady looks like she's having a phone call inside the car, so I don't want to disturb her. This might be a new SUV, actually. Let's have a look. No, it's not. It's, this is the X8, it's the Sehol S8. No one's looking at it, so let's have a dive inside. Go on. Let's get a bit closer. So this one's got a more traditional screen setup. It's not an electric car, this one. A few more physical buttons on the dashboard. Decent looking rear end, back interior on that. Looks like a six-seater, this one. Like you've got two captain's chairs in the back and then folded down seats in the boot there. And then we've got this small one here. This is the, what do they call this one? I've forgotten the name. I think it used to be called the S1, but I think the name's changed. This one I believe is in some European countries. And here's a concept car. They showed this at Beijing. It's quite a bit different from the usual stuff. Check out this compared to the pretty boxy MPVs and SUVs. This is the Jack Define. They have an MPV called the Refine. And this is fully electric. But let's see how close they get to making something like that in real life. There's the back end of it. So that's a concept car. And concept cars are pretty rare these days in the global market, but Chinese brands, some of them, still keeping them going. Let's head to room 15. Apologies, I meant hall 14, of course, we've just been in 15. Now apparently, looking at the statistics from my Beijing Auto Show video, about 50 to 60% of new viewers on this channel, are brand new to the channel. So first of all, welcome to anybody who is new and here to learn more about the Chinese automotive market. It's great to have you here. And what I'd like to say is, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe now, and it does kill me to even think of the words. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe now, but if you do find some value in this video, if you do have more interest in the Chinese automotive market and want to see what's going on here, then do consider subscribing at whatever point you choose to finish the video, whether that's at the end or whether you stop a bit earlier. Check out the channel, we have more videos, reviews of all these cars, such as this one, the Li Mega. This is quite an insane MPV, one of the fastest charging cars in the world. Let me introduce this brand. This is Liauto, our fourth Chinese brand. They make SUVs. We've just recently reviewed the L6 on our channel, which I think is the grey one over here. You'll notice that they are very similar in terms of looks, apart from the Mega, which looks like a very streamlined bullet train. I mean, look at that. Check it out. We have reviewed this video, so you can check this one out on our channel. Liauto characterized by plush interiors, lovely materials in these, super soft seats, twin screens up there, 4K screens. You can play cinematic movies in there. You've got surround sound with multitudes of speakers in here. Super comfortable seats in the back there. Kind of captain seats in the back. Got a fold down screen. You can use gesture control and a fridge down here as well. Fridge and a heater in there. And I'll show you the car from the back so you can see that kind of bullet train shape on this. Quite unlike any MPV you've ever seen before. As I said, their bread and butter at Liauto is their SUVs. So this is fully electric, the Li Mega, and this one here. Everything else is what's called an extended range electric vehicle, where you have an engine that serves as a generator and the drive is electric. So you'll see there's some very big similarities with these. If I can dive inside the front of one over here. You'll see, you'll see here, look, the same setup in terms of, you know, cup holders, twin wireless chargers, twin big screens, and a screen up there in the back as well. They're very similar in nearly all these cars. Same setup in that one. They all have the same setup. They're known for being plush, incredibly luxurious. They offer quite outrageous levels of tech, and they have, like, you know, AI technology inside their assistance systems. Incredible levels of tech and spec. The electric drivetrains are powerful. The ride is incredibly soft on these. They're not going abroad yet, sadly, but they're not far off going to the Middle East, I believe. They may go to Europe at some point in the future, but they're focused on the Chinese market right now. So that's our fourth Chinese brand. Let's have a quick look at Mini, because there is an interesting story to tell here about these guys. Mini Aceman, of course. Mini going electric now. I'm not sure I really like this. I don't like the boxy wheel arches on these. Let's have a quick dive inside, just have a look. See there, you've got a circular screen in the middle. I do like that. And actually, as much as I am not really a big fan of the Mini brand, because I have an old Mini, and new Minis are not like old Minis at all. To be fair, they are fun to drive, and they do feel quite cozy and compact inside. But electric Minis are made in a joint venture in China between BMW and Great Wall Motors. Here's the Cooper electric there. Again, not really sure about the look of these. They look quite heavy compared to Minis that should look light, like they're about to break. That's how I remember them. Interesting lights on the back there. Look at those. But yeah, they're made in a joint venture with Great Wall and BMW in China. BMW right next door, of course, called Spotlight Motors. They did not participate in the EU tariffs investigation, which means they're going to get the full 36.3% tariff in Europe, which means they're not going to be very cost effective unless BMW and Great Wall are going to swallow that money, which we'll have to see about that when it comes. Interesting choice not to participate in the tariffs subsidy investigation. So BMW, we have, of course, there the XM50. They're very rare. You never see those. Actually, no, I did see one, funnily enough, yesterday. It's the only one I've ever seen. This is the M3 with the big porky nose on it. Check out the interest on this stand. It looks... There's a fair amount of interest in here. Fair amount of people. Of course, we've got the new 5 Series. This is probably the M5 over here. I think it looks pretty meaty. I want to take a look at this, actually, because it's quite interesting. I love that yellow colour. That's fantastic. Let's get a better view of that. That's your M5. I'm pretty sure that wasn't released in China. I'm sure that must have been released before. But that is that's fantastic, actually. Just because it's yellow, I think. It's not an attractive car so much. The back end's all right on this. But the front end, do they have the big porky nose? I've forgotten if I've just seen the big porky nose. It's not too bad. Oh, no, it is pretty big. Okay. But yeah, reasonable amount of interest in BMW. They do, of course, sell a car here that they don't sell anywhere else, which is this one, the BMW i3. This is basically a 3 Series that's electric. They don't sell this in Europe. The lady's filming here, so I'm just going to dive through the window, show you the inside there. Got kind of a curved screen across the front. Much smaller grille on the front of this. Still going for the grille, even though it's electric. And of course, we've also got the X2 over there. Also not the most attractive car in the world. And the X1, which I think is pretty new, actually, the X1. And anything else interesting over here at BMW? Got the iX1, so another electric car. But again, let's try and do a little comparison of the interiors. Can we open the door on this? Let's have a quick look. Hello. We can have a quick look in here, so you can see there. There's your dash screen. Not massive screens in this. This is only a small BMW, to be fair. It looks pretty good. I mean, these seats have super side bolsters on them, so it looks comfortable. It looks like it will be quite sporty. But how well it will perform is another question. And there's your legroom in the back of the iX1. But again, you don't see many of these in China because they're more expensive than the local brands. Now they are showcasing something at the back over here, the new X3. And I think this has been already shown elsewhere in the world. Interesting grille design. Actually quite similar to the newly leaked Volvo XC90 grille. There is quite a lot of interest in this, actually. A lot of people looking at an X3, it would seem, in China. I'm not going to... see if I can get a look over the top here at the X3. Let's check out the lights on the back. Of course, it looks like a BMW. There you go. Inside, they've gone for a similar screen setup as the one on the iX3 that we just looked at earlier, which in China doesn't really cut it. i5, of course, another electric BMW. At least they're trying with their electric cars, and the i5, of course, comes with a huge screen in the back. Looks pretty close to your face, that. So they got a big screen in the back. So the i5 might do okay if it's priced right. Polestar, very small stand here. A brand in trouble, it would seem. This is the Polestar 4, made here in China, based on the SEA platform that also underpins the Zeekr 001. And if you look at the side profile of this car, actually, let's just whip around to the back here. Not a lot of interest in Polestar. You can see almost no people on this stand, which is a shame because they are beautiful cars. But that side profile, very similar to a 001, Zeekr 001. Inside, got ourselves a big screen in the middle, so they're doing something right for the Chinese market. Digital rear view mirror, because there's no rear window on this car, and quite a lot of space in the back. But as you can see, not a lot of interest. They're not even showing the Polestar 2 anymore, which I love as a car, but is just not fit for the Chinese market because it's too small, too compact. Volvo have got a big stand here. Volvo actually produce a lot of their cars here in Chengdu, in this city, including, I think, the EX30. I'll take a quick look at the EX30. Let's just dive inside here. They've got two stands, actually. They've got a smaller one somewhere else. But there you go. They've got a portrait tablet screen in the EX30, sustainable materials, sustainable plastics. This is a similar car to the Smart #1, #3, and the Zeekr X. And it's a neat looking car. It's more compact than all of those. Doing really well in Europe. Haven't yet seen one in China, to be fair. And another one I can show you. Let's go to the big one at the back. You've got, of course, your standard Volvos, your S90s, your XC60s. This one is definitely made in Chengdu. And then you've got the EM90 over at the back. This is essentially a Zeekr 009, clothed in Volvo colours. And honestly, the 009's a lovely car, but the 009's just been updated, and that one's it's going to outdo this one quite a bit. And also it comes with dual motors. This one is single motor only, and is almost twice as expensive as the 009. So I mean, plenty were on the production line when I went to Zeekr's factory, where it's made, but I haven't seen so many on the road yet. But there are some, because people still value. There's a price, by the way, the EX30 in China, 200,000 RMB. That puts it in a super competitive segment. Anything between 200,000, 300,000 RMB in China is incredibly tight. So, yeah, we'll see how Volvo do in the future. Now we're on to Lincoln. So, with liauto, I think that was our fourth Chinese brand. So now on to Lincoln. As I said, they're making quite a few cars in China now. I think not the Corsair, where is it? If I can find the one that's made. Nautilus, I think this one is made in China. Now, no one's inside it. It's easy to get inside these. You can see they're trying to suit the Chinese market because look, big screen all the way across the back of the dashboard there. Not so big screen in the middle, let's say, but a bigger one at the back. Interesting seats here. Looks like you can extend the length of your base cushion, different for both legs, just in case you have a different sized leg. Look at that, how weird is that? You can change the leg size on both sides. Now that is interesting. I've never seen that before in a car. I mean, the outside designs of Lincolns haven't really moved on from the 20th century as so much, although I do like the lights running through the grille. But yeah, they're exporting those back to the US. They're not electric, so no tariffs, of course. Then we get to Cadillac, another brand slowly struggling a little bit in China. They're doing a little bit less of the screens. Infotainment screens, super important in the Chinese market. Technology, infotainment, speakers, heated ventilated massage seats, things like that, super important to Chinese consumers. So you'll notice many of these brands simply don't stack up on screens compared to what you saw in the liauto, for example. Here, again, simple curved screen around the back. Oops, sorry. It's got in the way of that, sorry. Got in the way of that guy's shot then. They are trying to do some electric, so we've got over here, this guy's super tall. We've got over here the optic. So they've got, again, the same curved screen, but in China, drivers don't care about this screen. This doesn't matter. What they care is a screen for the middle and a screen for the other side, and ideally screens for people in the back. And the optic is not offering that at the moment. Got a few physical switchgear pieces on the dashboard there as well. Let me see if I can pop this door handle open. Oh, that's confusing, that's a difficult door handle. Decent space in the back of the optic, and of course you've got, totally forgotten the name of this one now, the iQOO. You see these every now and then in China, but look through the window, you can see again just the curved screen on the dashboard. So no big screens. They're not customized for the Chinese market. They're not adapting. That's hole 14. Let's head to hole 13. Right, we're here at hole 11. Now, I said 13 a moment ago. 12 and 13 are upstairs. And I don't know if they've got separate stuff in there. Doesn't look like it based on the map, so maybe 14 holes instead of 16. Right, more Chinese brands in here, so the number's going to start going up because we've seen a lot of the mainstream legacy brands. Well, there's more Japanese ones on the other side. But here, of course, one of the stars of the show is the Mona M03, xpeng Mona M03, to be clear. This is a very affordable car with some very good autonomous driving technology. Again, something important for Chinese consumers. They just put this on sale a few days ago. They got 30,000 pre-orders for it within 2 or 3 days, which is quite impressive. Here's a brighter version, so you can see those dynamics a little bit more. We got a video of this on our channel a few weeks ago. If you want to find out more about it, do check out that video. Unlike many saloons in China, it's a hatchback. It's actually a hatchback. It lifts up. Pop that up there. 600 litres of space and a bit more in the back there, which is great for moving suitcases and things like that. If you want to go to the airport, many young people looking to get onto the electric drivetrain bandwagon at a lower price point are looking at that car. They of course have the G9, which is a bestseller in the mid to large electric SUV category in Norway and Denmark, I believe. Top 3 in Sweden and the Netherlands. This is getting rave reviews abroad. Of course, you've got the G6 as well. We've reviewed all of these cars on our channel. The G6 just launched in Australia and Hong Kong. So you guys in Australia, any viewers from Australia, going to start seeing this one very soon. We've got the X9 MPV. They're demonstrating the ability to move the center seats forward, that's your second row over there, and fold your third row into the floor. This is how practical the X9 is, and you can see we have captain's seats on the back and a big screen up on the roof there. Big screen on the dashboard. This is a super cool car with rear wheel steering as well, which makes it super maneuverable for a car that's about 5.2 meters long, 5.3 meters long. The P7, which is kind of one of the original Chinese electric sedans. This one with the scissor doors. It's P7i actually. Now they've got a new P7 coming later this year. So this one looks a bit old-fashioned inside now. The new one's coming later this year. It's going to change things around for XPeng. XPeng, of course, one of the leaders in China's autonomous driving segment. You'll notice many of these cars have LiDAR units on them. I'll show you here. On the X9, LiDAR units down there, and another LiDAR unit down there. They're moving to vision only, same as Tesla. So those LiDARs are going to become optional in future. Let's see how well that goes. I think LiDARs are quite valuable, to be honest with you. Right, let's head on to the Jiyue stand. That's our 5th Chinese brand there, xpeng. This is our 6th. This is Jiyue, a 65-35 joint venture between Geely and Baidu. Basically China's Google. Sorry, I'm getting a business card handed to me. Big in the automotive driving space here in China. They've got robo-taxis. You can see a little bit of that on this screen over here. So Baidu have got autonomous driving tech. They have robo-taxis driving around Wuhan, just like Waymo and Cruise. They're driving around Wuhan by themselves, picking up customers 24 hours a day. They got 2 cars in the Jiyue brand. One a bit more interesting than the other. This is the 01, the first one. And while no one's here, I will give you a quick look inside it. If I can just slip between these guys carrying poles. There we go. Now look at this, electric door release there. Inside here, you've got a 40-inch screen across the dashboard. And you can play video games on that. You can see what it looks like. Let's see if I can click on it and it does anything. No, it's set up with a video. So I can't show you anything on there at the moment. Yoke steering wheel, which is designed to prevent you blocking that screen, because if you're over here, that screen is behind the steering wheel. So yeah, autonomous driving tech on these. These ones don't use LiDAR. These are vision only. They were going to use LiDAR. So it was going to be here, but it's not. These designed by Frank Wu, head of design at Baidu. And now they've got the 07, which I want to quickly look at before they close these fences. This is the brand new one. Look at this. This is a stunning saloon. This is absolutely lovely. And I've got a few little specs on this. Let me just quickly find them. Similar interior with the big screen in there. That's electric door release buttons here. Pop open the rear door. That's your rear seats. Little screen down there at the bottom. And so I do have some facts on this car. Let me bring them up on my phone. So yeah, it's got Apollo self-driving technology in here. You get rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive versions. Rear-wheel drive 200 kilowatts, 660 kilometers of range with a 71.4 kilowatt-hour battery. All-wheel drive adds another 200 kilowatts on the front axle, 400 kilowatts. You get a 100 kilowatt-hour battery with that, 770 kilometers of range on CLTC. Starts at 215,900 RMB, which is a bit of a bargain for such a beautiful car. I'm trying to get you a good angle of it. I'll tell you what, I'll go to the black one over at the back. There's less people around the black one. Just want to show you the profile of it. It's such a good looking car. So there you go. That is the Jiyue 07. It was launched in Beijing, is going on the market very soon. Stunning looking car, that one. And they are bringing out a long range version of that with 880 kilometers of range. Also sits on the SEA platform from Geely, from Zeekr. Rising, this is a brand from SAIC. They haven't brought anything new. They've got 2 cars. They are struggling a bit in China, to be totally honest with you. They're really good cars, these. This is the F7, which is a mid-size saloon. Pop this door open. So they've got 3 screens in here, one over there, one in the middle, and another one on this side here. A little bit plasticky in the middle, but other than that, they're really nice cars. Big panoramic roof, very popular in China. Loads of screens. Not so expensive either. These are under £20,000, if you can translate that into your own currency. But not doing great in China. Not doing great at all. They're going to be rebadged as MGs in the UK. So this is coming to the UK, this handsome looking car. This one might also come, I'm not sure. This is the R7. Let me dive up on the stand here, look through the window. While no one's around, very similar interior in terms of the 3 screens on these. Roller wheels, oops, sorry. They look pretty nice inside. They're quite luxurious. This one's not quite as well resolved, I don't think, as the F7. It's kind of a coupe SUV style profile. And these are fully electric. As I said though, they're coming to Europe as MGs, I think. It doesn't look like an MG. I'm not sure how you're going to tell the world that's an MG, but we'll find out when they get there. But yeah, this is actually interesting. Not a lot of people on the rising stand. This brand actually has battery swapping technology as well, but not many battery swap stations. Bit of a party going on at ePi over there. We'll come first to Dayun. Dayun started out as a truck manufacturer here in China. They make mainstream, fairly budget cars, big SUVs like this, but still, I mean, look at the size of the screen. This is a super budget EV in China, which is cheerful. And you still get separate seats in the back, third row with 3 more seats in there. Super cheap brand this, super affordable, but that's what you get for very little money in China. Here, the smaller Dayun. This looks a bit like a Leapmotor T03. Little tiny screen in there. This is a little hatchback there. These sell okay in China. I think it's called the M1. There's the M2, so that's the M1, that's the M2. Hello, not sure what that is. And then we've got Yuanhang. So this is a brand new electric car brand that has come from Dayun. They've got 4 cars, the H9. Let me quickly show you these. Some people will have seen this on our previous videos. Go away. People have seen this on our videos. Now these cars have got huge screens in the middle, like a Tesla Model S, a big vertical screen in the middle. They're quite luxury, but they're not, they're kind of like cheap luxury. I look, press the door button, the door will open like that. And then the door here, you see, we have all of our seat controls. You can play your radio, change your volume, heated seats, change the setting of your seats, change your temperature control, all there in the door panel. We've got 2 captain's chairs over here in the back, and then you get a couple more seats in the back. So this is a 6-seater SUV. This is the, what did I say, it was the H9. There's your H9 there. I'm being tracked around the stand here, which is a little bit annoying. This is the H8, I think. Yep, this is the H8. So this is another SUV. Again, similar layout inside. You've got your leather seats in here. You've got your large tablet-style screen, portrait style in the middle. Again, you get your electric release doors as well. Kind of shiny chrome stuff in the doors here. And again, captain seats in the back. It's a little bit more sporty, this one, than the H9, which is more of a family car. Over on this side, you've got the Y6 and the Y7. So the Y6 is kind of a more graceful version of this car. I'll just look through the window. So, you know, again, the big screen inside, the same setup, the same buttons. Look at the space in the back of this car. Let's see if we can just dive in while this customer's here. Look at the space in the back. And look at the colours. Look at the green. Green leather interior. Super luxurious reclining seats here in the back. Big hefty armrest, probably with a screen in it. Been trying to get one of these to test for a long time, so we'll see how we get on with that. And then the Y7 it was. This one, bright orange on the outside, bright orange on the inside as well. Again, same tablet screen, same electric doors. I mean, they're not bad looking cars, to be honest with you, but they've come out of nowhere and their marketing isn't super great yet. They are present in a lot of the bigger Chinese cities. People just not quite getting onto them, but you can see the difference between the Y6, which looks more kind of graceful and luxurious, and the Y7 that also comes with scissor doors, by the way. This one looks a bit more sporty, so that's kind of like 2 different personalities of the same car. I've lost count of how many Chinese brands we've got now, but that's Yuanhang. Then we've got over here Chang'an's Qiyuan brand. They've got the Uni Z, which is fairly new. Qiyuan is kind of an extended range electric vehicle brand. This car is actually painted, look at that. This is the Q05, this is their new SUV. So actually, as far as I understand it, Chang'an is going to disappear soon. They're not going to have the Chang'an brand anymore. They've got a new name, this is Qiyuan, they're kind of hybrids. And they've got another name coming for the standard Chang'an cars. Now I want to show you the E06, or was it E07? I forgot the name. There's a guy inside, I won't go inside and disturb him. Here is the E07. It's kind of a pickup hybrid. So it's a bit chunky, it's a little bit raised. It's an extended range electric vehicle. Pop ourselves inside here. You've got interesting screen that moves like this, flexes back and forth. Wireless chargers in the middle, quite luxurious and lovely in there. But it gets really interesting here at the back because look, it is a pickup truck with a glass roof here that slides down, and actually this tray folds down here. You can move this glass up and down, make it into a pickup truck. So that's your side profile. Again, we're going to try and get one of these as soon as we can. Seen a couple of these on the road already. Now over to Dongfeng Nami. These are actually in some Eastern European countries already, like Czech Republic, or they're coming very soon. The Nami 01, lovely little car this. I do want to drive this one too. Quilted leather style on the dashboard. Pretty luxurious looking seats actually, they look quite comfortable those. Decent sized screen in the middle, at least 13 inches, maybe 14 inches there. Kind of nice details here, like these kind of fake leather luggage straps there on the dashboard. Lovely little round steering wheel. Tiny little DIN display here behind, and the back over here. Quite decent leg room as well. Let me show you that in the back seats. Hello. There's your backrest. That's your leg room in the back there. So these are quite cute. As I said, these are going to Europe, and they might come to the UK too. These are from Dongfeng, one of China's state-owned brands. Cute little car, the Nami. That's what the front end looks like over here. Quite cute with the kind of purple curling round headlamps on there. That's Dongfeng Nami. Bit of a party going on over here. They've got a sporty Nami over on display there, as well as a very sporty looking, let me see what that is. We're now kind of in e-Pi territory, and a new Dongfeng electric brand. This is the e-Pi 007. That is the e-Pi 008 over there. See if I can give you a quick look at this. Look through the window there, so you've got a big screen in the middle. Plenty of space in the back seat of this car as well. And then we dive over here. Hopefully you can still hear me. The e-Pi 008, launched in Beijing. Similar setup, big screen in there. So yet another electric brand in China. This is the SUV. Try to get you a shot of this. There's a lot of people around the stand though, and it's very loud, so apologies for that. Let me go and check out this super meaty car over here. What is this? This is a concept. It's called Flare 02. So it's like an e-Pi 08 but made sporty by the looks of things. They're probably not going to sell that, but there you go. So yeah, there's the back of your e-Pi 008. So Dongfeng have quite a lot of brands, as you can see. And we've got more to come, so bear with me on Dongfeng. They've also got Aeolus, named after the god of wind, I think it is. This is the L7. This, I believe, is electric, I think. Let's dive inside there. Again, large screen, DIN display, sizable orange seats, which are interesting. Plenty of space in the back there. Decent looking car this, not sure on prices, but they're doing quite well. I'm seeing quite a few of those around. And then they've got other kind of hybrid versions. Not sure of all the names on these. But yeah, these L7s are doing quite well. Seeing quite a few of these. So that's another Dongfeng brand. We will get to another one later on. But I'm going to run away because it's getting quite loud now. Then we've got ID Unix. So Volkswagen have launched kind of a separate second brand here in China, which essentially looks like a Cupra. Looks like a Tabascan to me. This lady's filming inside, so I'm just going to look through the window. Big screen in there. It is the Volkswagen screen though, so it's not a particularly great screen with haptic controls and stuff like that. But I mean, you tell me, that looks like a Tabascan to me. A Tabascan that's been a little bit Volkswagenized. Somehow interesting, a bit like Volkswagen. They're quite bland, but they had the Scirocco, which was quite an interesting, different car. Now there's nobody in this car. I think I can dive in this one. Let's take a better closer look in here. So you see, you've got your standard Volkswagen stuff. Your standard haptic controls there on your screen, but it is a big screen. Well, it looks quite nice. It smells quite nice inside, actually. Kind of suede on your seats. Good side bolsters. Annoyingly, they've still got this separate button for the rear screens, rear windows. I hate that. Not super spacious in the back in terms of legroom, but should be plenty enough. Again, we'll have to see whether this brand actually does anything in China. Haven't seen any yet. Not sure if it's fully on sale or not. A little bit of interest in the ID Unix stand. So it is, I mean, it's got its own separate stand, so it's somehow separate from ID. But I'm not going to call it a Chinese brand. They don't count. Because it's a Volkswagen. Right, now on to Ion. Ion, of course, a sub-brand of GAC. So you see we've got our GAC logo, but it's blue, which means it's Ion. This is the LX Plus. This one has a range of over 1,000 kilometers, albeit on Chinese, on the CLTC. This is the new Ion V, sorry. This is going to export markets. It's going to Australia, I believe, very soon. This one's been kitted out with a full airbed inside. A lot of Chinese cars offering this kind of stuff now because people are going out doing lifestyle things in their cars. They're going, you know, camping, daytime camping rather than evening camping like we would do in Europe. I'll get you a better view of the front of this car because this one's covered in rocks. Let's head over here. I'll go to the orange one at the back. Weirdly, very few people on the Ion stand, despite the fact that these guys sell about 40,000 cars a month. A lot of them are ride-hailing cars. These are ride-hailing cars. These are ride-hailing cars. These are more for private customers, so we'll see how they do with the Ion V. This one's interesting, by the way. Look at this. Look at the camber on those front wheels. They're really tilted in at the top, but that shows you the electric drivetrain. Let's take a look at the Ion V at the back here. It's nice and free for us to look at, which is much easier than Beijing. So interesting look on this. It's a little bit chunky and basic. This kind of light signature is developed from previous Ion V. I can't say that it's the most attractive car in the world, if I'm honest with you. Some people will quite like this. It does look a bit chunky. But let's look at the interior. Again, you've got a little DIN display down there, bigger screen in the middle, single wireless charger over there, quite comfy looking seats, quite plush materials, nice kind of fake metal grille speakers there. ADIGO, so it's got level 2 autonomous driving on it. Bags of legroom in the back though. Look at that. Absolutely loads of legroom. And super recline on those rear seats. Check out that angle. So you can really relax in this car. What does that do for the trunk space, the boot space? Let's have a look. So quite a big lip here. It's a deep boot. Quite big intrusions there from your wheel arches. But obviously if you put those angles up, you'll have a bigger space. It's not very big with them folded down. Electric tailgate though. Quite nice little lights on the back of this. A bit like a GAC GS8, but a miniature electric version. So that's the Ion V coming to Australia and possibly Europe soon as well. This is the Ion Y Plus. I like this car. It's big and spacious. The square wheels, I've never seen anybody buy them, but they do look really cool. Check out the legroom in there. This car is cavernous inside, absolutely massive, loads of space. You can recline that backrest a little bit as well, I believe. Little dive into the front, big screen there, wireless charger in the middle, big screen in front of the driver, huge panoramic roof. These are really spacious. They're great ride-hailing cars because they don't have a very big footprint, but they've got a big interior inside, and that's the standard-looking one, the Ion Y Plus. With these angel wing headlamps at the front there. That one I don't think is going abroad, but we'll see. That's hole 11. Let's take you to hole 10. Right, we're now at hole 10. And as I walk into here, I want to tell you a bit more about Inside China Auto because we are expanding. By the time this video goes out, we might have InsideChinaAuto.com live on the internet, where we're going to be giving you news from the Chinese market, monthly newsletter. We're going to have links to all of our reviews. We're going to have links to our upcoming podcast on there. First episode might also be live on that new website. And what I'd like from you, if you are a regular viewer of the channel, or if you just have interest in the Chinese auto market, please let us know in the comments below this video what you'd like from that website. And we'll try and do our best to give you what you want, what you need from the Chinese automotive market. There's the reviews from myself, trained automotive journalist, Coventry University. This is another small Volvo stand. This one is actually paid for by the dealers. That's why it's a bit smaller. Now, I'll come back onto that website later on maybe if I've got more time. Now we're on the AVATR stand. This is one of my favorite brands in China, and in my opinion, by far the most beautiful car brand in China. This is their new car. This is the AVATR 07. Let me get you some statistics about the AVATR 07. This comes as an EV. I'll take the purple one. This comes as an EV, or an extended range EV. There you go. Mid-size SUV. The EV will come in rear-wheel drive version, 252 kilowatts on the rear motor. The all-wheel drive, 440 kilowatts. Extended range vehicle will be 250 to 350 kilowatts combined. Interesting features about this car that they have on the AVATR 1.2, review of which should be on our channel by now or very soon. Halo screen up here, you can show temporary parking, or you can show a little pedestrian walking across the road to tell people they can cross. This car has the Huawei iCar system in, so we've got a LiDAR up there. You can do autonomous driving with the Huawei system, the Chengdu. It's a fantastic system. Video also should be live by now. If not, it will be very soon. Also notice on this car, we have camera mirrors here. So if I can just look inside the car over here. Sorry. See down there, you've got little screens that show, little screens that show your mirrors. So there's no mirrors on this car, comes with cameras. I think you can get real mirrors on the cheaper versions. But it's a luxurious car, this. 25 speakers, Meridian sound system, which is a super lovely sound system. Check out the interior. Lovely colors. Kind of a champagne over white here, leather, little eyeball vents down there, screen for different functions on your rear seats. There's your dashboard with a big screen across the back, 36-inch screen, I think it is, 15-inch screen in the middle with the Huawei Harmony operating system, electric door release buttons, so no real physical buttons, physical door handles on the AVATR 07. And yes, they call it 07, I think, because they call this one the 1.2 and that one the 1.1. Both should be on our channel by now. Hopefully this one isn't too far behind. This, by the way, is a bit of a concept, but you can buy it. They do collaborations with artists, designers. This one is a collaboration with Kim Jones, that fella over there. He's basically tuned this himself. Done special things to the interior, including these fancy alloy wheels down here. I mean, this is already a beautiful car, by the way. Let me try and make sure my microphone doesn't come off. Got kind of an interesting yellow color in there. Loads of space in the back. Silver mirrors. This one, of course, has the 3 LiDAR units, one there, one down at the bottom and one on the other side. Looks pretty cool, the Kim Jones version. Very expensive though. But you get really fancy leathers in there. And this is the 1.1, which we reviewed on the channel before, so I'm not going to talk too much about the 1.1. So yeah, big story at AVATR is the launch of the 07 over there. Now we've got a few brands in here. Let's head towards NIO. So I said, our website is going live. We'll have a podcast, which should be roughly bi-weekly. Might go weekly eventually. Where we talk about the Chinese auto market. This is an ever-changing space. Nothing is the same from week to week in the Chinese auto market. Always big stories going on. And on our website and our podcast, we'll keep you up to date with all that stuff. Give you some insight and opinion from here in the Chinese market. And you really need to be here to understand it. Onto NIO, of course, one of the biggest names in electric cars in China. Nothing new from NIO today. No new models. So nothing super exciting to talk about. I will take you to the ET7, which we have a review of coming to the channel very soon. This is the ET7, Executive Edition. So I can guide you around the back. Give you a quick look in the back seats. Quick look in there. Super nice, really high quality materials. Look forward to the video for that. You'll enjoy it. It is the car that NIO should have been making. Now, as I said, yesterday I was here, up there, talking with Chin Li Hong, the co-founder of NIO. And he let slip to us that with Onvo somehow treading on the toes. Onvo is their new mainstream, let's call it mainstream plus brand below NIO. I asked him if they were going to move NIO further up market to put more space between the two. He said yes, that is their intention. And the NIO ET7 Executive Edition is an indication of how that's going to look, I think, because it is fantastic. Now we are at Hypetech. Hypetech. Used to be called Hyper. Now they've been updated to Hypetech to reinforce the tech side. They have this SSR, over 1,000 horsepower, I believe, on this, or at least over 900. Carbon fiber tub. You can see skin there, all carbon fiber on this car. It's all carbon fiber, everything. With 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 1.9 seconds. If we get a chance to drive that, it'll be the best day of my life. Apart from my daughter's birth. The Hypetech GT, we've reviewed that on the channel. The Hypetech HT, which is undeniably inspired by a Tesla Model X, with these big ass gull-wing doors here. Check out the recline on these rear seats. Super reclined rear seats there. Look at the angle on those. You get a big tray table over here, footrest down here, so you can move that seat forward, rest your feet on this footrest down there. There's loads of space. Similar setup, big screen in the front, thin display further back on the dashboard, which I really quite like the positioning of, and a boot big enough for 2 golf bags. Now these cars sell fairly decently in Guangzhou, not so much elsewhere in China. I've seen almost none of these, almost none, and I don't understand it, because I really like the GT. Great car to drive. Lovely kind of fine controls on the steering. It's light, it's super aerodynamically efficient, 0.197 drag coefficient on it. It's a Model 3 rival that I think is better in many ways. Doesn't sell well in China. But it might be going abroad. I was going to, sorry, really loud speakers over there. Now look on the screen, because I might not get there fast enough to show you this. Okay, I'll go over to IM in a minute. I'll finish here first. So these might be coming to Europe. The the Hypetech GT and the HT. Hopefully they'll do better there. Sorry, it's really loud here. Hopefully you can still hear me. We've got a presentation going on at Leapmotor as well. We've recently reviewed the Leapmotor C10. This is the C16. This is coming next week, so I'm going to review this very soon on the channel. Leapmotor, of course, invested in quite heavily by Stellantis, big automotive giant in Europe, and a bit of America as well. Amazingly, they've actually closed the stand off to people. I've never seen that at a Leapmotor stand before. Sorry, no, they haven't closed it off. They kind of haven't. So, C11. Sits somewhere between the C16, which is a 3-row car. These are quite basic inside, and they're super affordable. You'll see though, the C16 comes with screen in the back, 3 rows of seating. I've been asked to move, so I'm going to move out of the way. We dip to the C10 at the back. This is the one we just reviewed on the channel, C10. Very affordable, coming to Europe very soon. It's going to cause some real damage, I think, to the mainstream brands. We will see. CO1 is their saloon. This is available. Well, this is going to be EV only in the rest of the world, coming to Australia, India as well. This is extended range EV and an EV. C16, EV and extended range. C11, also the same. At the back, over there. Let me see if I can get over there. For some reason, we're having a show of models walking around the stand. Some things don't change even in 2024. Sorry, let me slip through the crowd here. Okay. This is also coming to Europe, the T03. Small super mini, electric. Little screen in the middle, little screen over there, cute interior. Quite compact in the back, but that's what you expect from a Super Mini. There's the back of it. So that's coming to Europe. You're going to get this one pretty soon as part of that Stellantis joint venture to sell Leapmotors in Europe. I'm going to move away from the music. and hope that the IM stand gets quieter by the time I get there. I mentioned that Dongfeng have many brands. Here's another. This is the new Voya Dreamer. Upgraded with new grille, LiDAR unit down there. This now comes with Huawei's Chengdu system. So this will also autonomously drive itself. I'll see if I can get you near one. This is the free SUV, available in Europe now. Available as an extended range vehicle or an EV only. This is, oh, they got a new facelift on it. Oh, sorry, no, this is the Qiyuan. Okay, I got some details about this one. Bear with me. So the Voya Qiyuan, Jiyin, which will be called Courage in Europe. 209,800 RMB. Sorry, 209,000 RMB. It's a smaller SUV than the free. 230 kilowatts, rear-wheel drive. 108.7 kilowatt-hour battery. 901 kilometers of range. You still get loads of space in here. Loads of space. And if you look at the dashboard, the screen slides across the dashboard. I'm pretty sure that guy just slid the screen across the dashboard. Very Zeekr-esque. So this is another car coming to European markets at some point. It's my first time seeing it in person. See, he's moved the screen back now, over to this side. So the screen slides across the dashboard. So you need to use several fingers. Here you go, let's watch this. There you go, there goes your screen. So that's your Voya Courage. They also have, as I said, the free, this one, and the Passion, or the, what do they call it in Chinese? I forgot the name now. We've reviewed this one on the channel already. That's a big sedan. If you haven't seen this one before, let me quickly show you. Heads-up display, screen, 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 screen. And another screen in the back. Screens all over the place. Microfiber all over the place, wireless charger. These are nice cars. You don't see them very often though, sadly. But it's decent. See if I can get you over to the Dreamer. They're not opening the Dreamer up to people, it would seem. But you can see our video of that on our channel. It's quite luxurious inside. Probably a bit nicer now they've refreshed it. Because the competition is stiff in the electric MPV segment in China. The Zeekr 009, xpeng X9, Li Mega. BYD have got a new MPV, we'll show you that later. There's a quick look at your interior. So you've got screens in there, luxurious seats. 7-seater. I can't really get you close to that, so I'm going to leave it. Right, now this is going to get more difficult. We're going to go to IM. This is the beautiful L7. And this was a cracking starting point for this brand in terms of design. Then they came up with the LS7, LS6, L6, which look a lot more melty. Look at the interiors. These look like very French seats. Big, fluffy, is that a word? Fluffy seats. Little screens people on the back there. Huge dashboard screen all across the dashboard. Another one down there as well. Now I don't think I'm going to be able to show you this because they're not going to do a live demonstration. But this one, the L6, based on an 800-volt platform, a digital platform. This one can now do not quite the same as a tank turn, but pretty close. So over here, this is the demonstration area, which is suitably slick. Well, this car basically does a full rotation, the LS6, sorry, the SUV version of the L6 over there. Can do a full rotation here on this circle, and what I'll try and do is get you some B-roll of that if I can catch a video of them doing it later. But you can see up here on the screen, that's what it does. So you see that video up there? That shows you what the car can do. Turns the back wheels in different directions, I believe, and the front wheels go in the same direction, and somehow it does a kind of spin on the spot. That's cool. Right, now we've got Zeekr. They've got the all-new 009, so it's been massively updated. It's a super plush. Watch this. Okay. Let's see if these guys will let us in. Okay, he's taking a look. I'll try and get you a look inside that in a minute. Well, first they've got a brand new car here. And we couldn't get close to this yesterday. We can today. See if I can get a good view of it at least. And I really need some water now. My throat's about to die. But here is the Zeekr 7X. It's like an SUV version of the Zeekr 007. Stargate grille. This comes with over 1,000 LEDs. You can do custom light patterns on there. You can write words on there. Sorry. Let's have a quick look inside the window here. Let's pop my camera in there. So Zeekr sound system, twin wireless chargers, big screen in the middle. Look at the space in the back here. Huge space in the back. Big recline on this seat angle here. Panoramic roof with a roof cover. Some lovely little details here. The lights on the sides, if I can show you those. It's a very spacious car, this. Big pocket under the floor there. Big pocket under the back as well. Good sized trunk on there. Sorry, the camera's having a moment. There we go. Let me get you some details about this. It's pretty warm in here now. So the all-wheel drive, currently only available in all-wheel drive, I think. There will be a rear-wheel drive version, I'm sure. Has the same 310 kilowatt motor on the rear axle as the Zeekr 001. Has an additional 165 kilowatts on the front axle. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3 seconds. And if I can pop down that trunk, I'll show you what the back end looks like. While no one's paying attention. Just bear with me while that goes down. There you go, that's the rear end of the Zeekr X. Good looking car, that. We also can now get a closer look at the Zeekr Mix. Now, I believe the driver's door is a conventional hinge on this. The rear door, not a slider, it's kind of a cantilever system. It pops out. Let me take you around the other side for a better look at the inside of this. This is the car that I'm going to buy. I want this one. Zeekr Mix, as I call it, a 21st century Renault Scenic. Look at the interior. So this door pops open here, this door pops open here. You get more than 1.1 meter gap there in the middle. You can rotate the front seats 90 degrees so they point out, or 180 degrees so they face the back. Got this table here that can slide on runners forwards and backwards, pop out so you can play play games with your kids, have food in there and stuff. Got the runners along the floor here, so you can move that bench all the way forward. Also got leg rests on there, as you can see. Super functionality in this. You can also, you might be able to see over there at the back, that is a light, a little lamp you can pull out, charges in the door, take it out, put it on the table, light the cabin at night time. This is a really interesting car. It's coming in mid-October, and I cannot be more excited about this. Welcome to future. Notice also, by the way, screen there on the back of the front seat. Screen is for the rear seat passengers, of course, when the passenger seat is facing the right direction. There's your Zeekr 007 Kung Fu edition. We've done a review on the Zeekr 007. You can check that out on the channel. This is the 009. This is the Glory edition. You can tell by the hand-brushed alloy wheels. There's a look at the interior. Big screen in the middle. Super cushy seats. Divider here between the front and the back. 2 seats in the back. It's super luxurious, this, because you get this massive TV screen in here. You get a fridge in there, champagne and stuff. Here's a little look from the back. Look at that. There you go. Little screen in the middle as well. These seats recline nearly all the way. This is the super luxury version of the all-new Zeekr 009. I'll try and weave my way between these people. Should be able to get a quick look now at the 009, the standard version. This is a 6-seat version. These seats slide forwards, so you can get into the back there. Got a screen up on the roof. There's your dashboard. from the front. Reclining seats, heated ventilated massage, and a fridge down there as well. So that's Zeekr, another one of my favourite brands. There's the 007 for you, in a quite new purple colour, which I really quite like. And let's have another quick look at the mix before we leave Zeekr. There's the seat pointing out this way. You can turn the screen diagonally as well, at an angle. You can move the table further back if you want to. A lot of people looking at this one, so I'm going to just slide around them all. There you go. My camera seems to be pointing up for a bit for reason. Right, and here's the 001, of course, which is, by the way, I should point out, the 007 over there. Sorry, the camera's broken again. Over there, 007, actually here it is, Zeekr 007. Fastest charging battery in the world, 10 to 80% in 10.5 minutes. Zeekr developed battery. This is the 001. Also has new technology. LiDAR unit up here. If I can get the focus on the LiDAR unit, there we go. This now will have Zeekr's autonomous driving system. I think it's called ZGP. So it should be able to do urban autonomous driving in the near future. Now, Volkswagen have got another stand here. This one has the ID Buzz on it. I think it's the first time I've seen a Volkswagen ID Buzz at a Chinese motor show. I don't think it's open to look at. The windows are locked. I mean, apart from looking fairly cool, this one might struggle in China, honestly, because there are just better MPVs out there. But seeing it in person for the first time with the enormous Volkswagen badge on the back, it's fair to say it does look pretty funky. But as you can see, this is the Volkswagen stand. The ID stand. Almost nobody here, just this one car has people looking at it. That is hall 11. Let's go to hall 10. Again, I got the hall numbers wrong. This one is, now again, I got the hall numbers wrong. This one is hall 9. The last one was hall 10. Now, notice, by the way, Volkswagen had that stand there in the corner of that hall. That used to be Volkswagen. They used to have a stand like this, which was an entire hall to itself for all of its brands. Now, BYD is the brand, the model, the company that has a hall entirely to itself. This one at the apex of the C curve of halls here in Chengdu. We do have some interesting launches in here, so let's get straight to them. You can see Yuanhang over there, the premium brand, BYD, the mainstream to mainstream plus brand, Denza over here, and Fangchongbao over in the corner. First one we're going to go to is Denza. They have the D9 MPV. They're doing pretty well now compared to when they were just owned by Mercedes, and 50% Mercedes, 50% BYD. Now it's 10% Mercedes, 90% BYD, and they're taking off. So you got the D9 MPV. This is the hybrid version with BYD's DM system, and there's an electric version, fully electric version as well. This is the N7, the updated facelift version that we have reviewed on the channel, the previous pre-facelift version. Now in Beijing they showed off this, the new car, the Z9, which is a big, long, swoopy, very pointy looking GT style profile. Let me see if I can get you around the back and show you what that looks like. There's your kind of shooting brake profile at the back, not easy to see. A lot of interest on this stand, by the way. Look at the people here. Oops, shit. Loads of people here. So that's the GT profile. Today, or this show, they've shown us this, which is the saloon profile, the sedan profile of the Z9. So this is going to be, this is like mid-premium. Oh, well, no, let's call it premium. This is like up against Mercedes, BMW, Audi. Very swoopy, big pointy nose on that. This thing will be super powerful. I don't actually have any details about this one with me, but I believe it's super powerful, this one. Very full of electric motors. Let's go around the back of these ladies here. I want to try and get you a look at the interior of the Z9, but it's not easy. I'm going to just throw my camera in when people are looking and people are having their own look. That's the interior. Look, you see you've got a screen in the middle and a screen directly ahead of the passenger, one ahead of the driver, heads-up display. There's your rear interior, loads of space. in the back there, another little screen down at the bottom. I'm sorry. So that's the interior of the Z9. Let me try and make my way around these people. Motor shows never easy to look around quickly because of all the people. Now there's the electric version of the D9 over there, MPV. Now we're on to Fangcheng Bao. They've got a new model. This is the Bao 5, their first model, which has just been discounted, been made cheaper, some more people buy it. This is their off-road brand. They've now just launched this one, which is the Fangcheng Bao 8. It's bigger. And you'll notice we get a LiDAR unit down here. I think it's a LiDAR unit. And you get at least 3 LiDAR units up there. This one is going to come with Huawei's Chengdu system. First BYD to use the Huawei autonomous drive system. The best one in China, I believe, at the moment, based on my experience. Not showing us the interior. Let's get ourselves reflective glass there. And there on the back as well. But that's what the Bao 8 looks like. It really looks like a big version of the Bao 5, to be honest with you. And this one runs on the new DMO platform, so O for off-road. It'll be available as a, I think this is a 5, it's a concept 5. So this one will be a plug-in hybrid, all-wheel drive on the DMO platform, which means it comes with a 2-litre engine for 200 kilowatts of power, plus 200 kilowatt motor on the front axle, 300 kilowatt motor on the rear axle, 700 kilowatts in total, 950 horsepower in an off-road SUV. Use the Blade battery, weighs us 3.3 tons. And as I said, will come with the Huawei autonomous drive system. And soon, I would guess, they're going to launch their smallest car yet. This is a concept for the Bao 3, called the Super 3. That one will be coming fairly soon. Let's just have a quick look. They've got their sports car concepts at the show today. For some reason, for an off-road brand, they launched a sports car concept last time in Beijing. I'm going to guess they haven't brought it here. It doesn't look like they have, no. I'll see if I can get a better view of the Fangcheng Bao 8. The Bao 8. Over here. So let me zoom round to the front. There you go, there's your Bao 8. And again, apologies if I'm moving the camera a little bit too fast. But there you go. So that's the second new car from BYD. The next one is going to be of more interest. So pretty much everybody, I think, outside of China. BYD very keen to stress that this new car is for European markets more than it is for China. Hatchbacks not particularly popular in China, but of course they are very popular in Europe and Australia. Cars like the Ford Focus, the Volkswagen Golf, Vauxhall Astra, Opel Astra. So let me see if I can find you one. Because this is the new, I think it's over the back here, the BYD Seal 06 GT. And BYD make this very difficult for us because they're just constantly putting new names on their cars. Either call it Seal, call it 06, or give it an acronym. Don't give us 3 different things. This is the Seal IN07. That's coming to Australia soon, if not already. Where is the 06? Right, 2 new cars, okay. Come on to the MPV on the right side. Here we go. This is the BYD Seal 06 GT, which is a bit of a hot hatch really. Not sure if we can go on here, we can. We just circle around the back. So that is the BYD Seal 06 GT. It's a pretty good looking car. Basically a hatch interpretation of the Seal, although it looks a bit shorter than a Seal. What I can tell you about this, it costs about 150,000 RMB in China. Of course it will cost more in Europe, that's just the plan, and they do have big tariffs. Rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive versions available, fully electric. Batteries of 59.5 kilowatt hours and 73 kilowatt hours, and up to 610 kilometers of range on CLTC. Now, I think that's the only one I can find. Is the one over here I can get? Ah, here we go. Let's get a better look at this one. See if I can dip my nose inside the dash, the interior here. They really should have brought more of these. So I'm going to show you the view inside there. Big screen in the middle. Looks very much like the Seal interior. You have to be a little bit a little bit punchy around here just to get a look. There's the boot, so just to show you the boot space. Again, it looks every bit the hatchback, doesn't it? Every bit a European hatchback. BYD truly walking on the toes now of the European car brands. And quick dive through the window there. I'll try and get you some B-roll of this interior to show you more of what's going on with the 06. I'll do my best to get some of that later if I can. Now BYD very rarely just launch one car at a show. They often launch two. Now they do have the E6 MPV, which is actually available, coming to the UK even. Whether this one will come to the UK, I don't know. This is the BYD Shah MPV. Let me just zip around there. We can't get a look inside this one. This one is a plug-in hybrid. Slightly smaller than a Denza D9, but it's undoubtable that the hard points look fairly similar to the Denza D9. And all we know so far is it's going to be a plug-in hybrid. That's it. And it's going to be under the Dynasty series. That's why it gets the kind of the silver dragon's beard, they call it, I think it is, under the front. And yeah, I mean, look at BYD's haul, right? If you doubt BYD's popularity, look at the scale and look at the number of people. This hall is absolutely rammed full of people. Now, Yuanhang, the premium brand, I'm not going to queue up to get on there. This, of course, is the U8. This is the car that can swim, and I'll try and get some B-roll because they're actually demonstrating that outside. This one can swim. It's about 1,000 horsepower, 950 horsepower, something like that. I think it's 4 motors, if not 3. It's an extended range electric vehicle, so not fully electric. Then they've got the U7 over there. Again, if I get on here later, I'll try and give you some B-roll of this. That's their big sedan, or saloon. I can't really say I like that face. Let's see if I can zoom in for you a little bit. There you go, a little tiny bit in there. That's a bit of a pudgy face, that, isn't it? That's Byron. Is it Byron from Family Guy? And then, of course, the U9. I'll try and show you U9 outside. It's got an enormous rear spoiler. Coming to the market very soon. A super fast electric supercar. That's BYD. And Hall 9. Let's head to Hall 6. All right, now heading into Hall 6. Let's see who we have in here. First brand I can see up there is Lyvan. So this is a budget brand from Geely. I believe it was actually owned by the boss of Geely's brother at one point, but now owned by Geely. These are very affordable cars. I actually believe they have battery swapping possibility on them. I can't remember. This is the Lyvan 7. They've gone for very bold colours on here. Bright orange, black to white fade, painting, and pink pandas, because it's in Chengdu. Now, this one, of course, fully electric. They use these cars for the Tao Tao ride-hailing platform. It's basically a Geely Jiaji MPV. Captain seats in the back, third row in there. They're really spacious. And actually quite a lot of luxury, honestly, for a very little amount of money. If you need to move a big family on a budget in China, you can't do much better than a Lyvan. What are they calling it when it's under the Lyvan brand? The 80 Pro. So they might have killed off Raylan now. Although actually, that was called the Raylan 9. Actually, Raylan might be the Chinese name. That's Lyvan. Electric cars, all electric cars. Now, we're on to Dongfeng Honda. Not counting these as a Chinese brand. This, though, is an electric car called Mengshi. It's even got a new logo down there. That's the new logo for Mengshi. Someone's doing a demonstration, so I'm not going to dive in there and interrupt her video. As you can see, it's pretty much based. Actually, I'm not sure what it's based. I was going to say it was based on the GAC ION-Y, but it's not, because it's not the same brand. So I'm not sure what it's based on. That's kind of Honda's electric efforts in China. Now, check out the number of people on the stand. Very bland, white-coloured stand, this, isn't it? There's no colour to be seen. I came here yesterday trying to find PR people, and the staff just didn't care. I don't know. Days are numbered, I think, honestly, for brands like this in China. There's people who trust Japanese quality more, start to disappear. This is their first electric car, first proper electric car. No interest in it at all. No interest. Is it open? It's not open. Can't even look inside it. Flat screen in the middle. Decent space in the back. But is anyone going to buy this? Is anyone going to buy the ENS2 in China? The amount of interest in this stand probably gives you the answer. Here's another decked out version of that. No interest. No one's looking at it. Ford and JMC, commercial vehicle collaboration in China. Apologies, this is a loud stand. They do pickup trucks, they do camper vans, they do big camper vans, more pickup trucks. And that's it. Now on to Ford, American brand. Another one that's losing market share in China. They're going big on Bronco, but you don't see many of them. The winner in China's kind of off-road, chunky looking space is the Tank 300 by far. Bronco is not winning consumers over at all. It's another chapter in the story of foreign brands disappearing in China. They're not getting pushed out, they're just not turning up. Not turning up with the products they need. We've got cars here that are made in China, coming to America. I think it's the Ford territory. You can see it's inspired by China, because you've got a big screen, 2 big screens over here. That's popular in China. Going to America. These seats are quite cool in the back. You get an armrest down there with a wireless charger on it, and an armrest with a wireless charger on it. And you get reclining footrests. This is quite fancy. America, you got China to thank for this. Ford would not give you this if it wasn't for China. If it wasn't for the competition they've got in this market. And for those who are still fans of the Mondeo, the one that no longer is sold in Europe, here it is. That's the Mondeo, sold here in China. Notice they have not brought the Ford Capri to China, because the Mach-E is not doing it. Well, it's not the Mach-E, that's the Edge. In fact, there are no Mach-E's on there, which tells you the story. Right, here we go. Dongfeng, another brand. Sorry, I'm just going to pick something up I dropped there. Dongfeng 4 thing. I forget the name of this. I think it's called the Shanghai S7. This is a 160 kilowatt motor on the rear axle, 310 newton meters of torque, 56.8 kilowatt hour battery, 555 kilometers of range. Does it look sleek? It is. The world's most aerodynamic production car, 0.191 drag coefficient, $18,000 for this car. These lights look very Hongqi, gotta say. Like the Hongqi electric cars. Not huge interest in this, so I can go over to this car here, take a look at it for you. Pretty nice interior there, big screen, neck pillows, it smells very plasticky, to be honest with you. Pretty nice interior there. Decent, no branded speakers, it says 4 thing on them. Decent room in the back there. Let's try it out. I mean, footroom is a bit tight, headroom's okay, knee room's decent. Just smell very vinily. But yeah, you can see there the profile of it. Let me show you the rear of it. Big teardrop profile on this. Full thing is a very interesting brand. I'm not entirely sure what their place is in the Chinese automotive world. There you go, full thing. Because it's a silly name. It's a silly name. They also do an MPV. The V9. Very lush looking seats there in the back. They look quite nice. Screens across the front, very voyeur. Triple screen setup across the front there. It's quite loud here though. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on loud stands. Now, in my Beijing video, I pretty much wrote Jetta off. I'm going to walk through the stand. I'll show you anyway. This is like Volkswagen, the Volkswagen Basics range. There's more people on this stand than there was in the last one. But when you're in China buying a car, why would you buy this? Petrol, old Volkswagen platforms. Not interesting to look at. This is the most interesting thing on the stand, and notice most people are here looking at the old GTI Jetta, especially the Golf Mark II with a boot. Now Volkswagen have a bigger stand, of course, and to be fair, they've got a lot more people on here. They have a huge range in China. A lot of SUVs, a lot of estates. A lot of people don't really buy those so much. You've got sedans. This is probably the Magetan, the new Magetan. There's a few people here. This is, to be fair, there's Ora. I forget the name of this one. What's it called? Arteon? No, it's the CC. It'll be the Arteon CC. That's their new car. This, by the way, pretty big saloon. It's like a Volkswagen Passat, essentially. 79,000 RMB for the cheapest version, I believe. And it does get a big Volkswagen screen in the middle. The Magetan. It's at 80,000 RMB. They call it the next generation, but there's nothing next generation about a petrol car. Sorry, there's just not. ID7 Vision. Anybody looking at the ID7 Vision? There's a few people taking a look. You don't see many of those. Pointlessly decorated car with a big rocket. And then a few more ID cars over here. Volkswagen, if you didn't know, are made by two different brands in China. Two joint ventures. One is the SAIC joint venture. One is FAW, the same guys who own Hongqi. So they have. Alrighty, we're in Hall 5. Apologies there, we actually got cut off by a lack of memory in our camera for the end of Hall 6, but we were pretty much done there with Volkswagen. So now 5 halls to go, and we're getting on some European, Japanese legacy brands here. We've got ourselves Citroen and Peugeot on the same stand. So we've got the, let me just try and get the camera pointing in the right direction. 1 second. There we go. So we've got a Peugeot. This is basically the 408, I believe. Sorry, 508, something on about. For China, a long wheelbase version. This is the, what do they call this Citroen now? The C5X, that's right, yeah. It's a kind of an odd-shaped creature. I'm not even sure if you get this in Europe. But there you go. We've now got this. I actually saw one of these on the road yesterday. 408X. And I think you have these in Europe as well now. I haven't been back for a while. But that's quite a sharp looking car actually. It's like a Peugeot version of the Citroen. And it's much better. And actually reasonable amount of interest here, although bear in mind a few of these people are Citroen Peugeot employees recording videos. Now over to Mazda. Point of interest on Mazda. You know most of their other stuff. I'm not going to go into details about them. What I will show you is this, the Mazda EZ6. This is coming to Europe and the rest of the world pretty soon, I believe. And yes, it is a fully electric car. I don't think they're going to make the extended range electric version of this, because this is basically based on the Deepal SL03, which I will show you later on when we get to Chang'an's stand. But I do want to show you, if I can get near one of these cars, I want to show you the materials inside. We've got some ladies here talking about this car. I think I can get in this side, because they trimmed this a bit different. Let me just check the back seat here where this fella's hanging around. Let's quickly show you this. So look, here we've got like a brown suede material inside. Quite a little leg room in the back there, suede down the middle, leather on the edges. That's your dashboard over there. So you've got your screen at the back. I don't want to talk too loud, this lady's recording a video, but I'll just show you there. There's a screen in the background. That screen can tilt both ways. You've got actually leg rest extension here on the passenger seat as well. So a lot of functionality down there. So it looks and feels every bit as premium as a Mazda. It is a hatchback, by the way. So a hatch, the rear window opens up there, not just a saloon. And it's fairly sharp actually. Actually, there's one over here, look. I don't know why I'm looking at that one, there's one over here. So I'll give you a closer look with this one. This one, same colour inside. Is this one open or locked? Yeah, it's locked. Okay, so you can't look inside that one. That's why no one's looking at it. Let's show you the back end again. So the shape is very similar to the SL03 that it's based on. No lights being shown on this one. Don't know why you just wouldn't put the lights on. It's a motor show. It's not quite as swoopy as other Mazdas, but they've done a decent job of making it look like one. And actually, some interest. Not really in the SUVs, but some interest at least in their other cars, more than I would expect. Now let's head over to Toyota. This is FAW Toyota. And surprisingly, a very busy stand over here. And it's just after lunchtime, or it's about lunchtime right now, so having a lot of people on your stand is impressive. Now yesterday, like the Honda stand we went to earlier, there was nobody here, but here there's quite a few people. And what are they interested in? Well, pretty much everything, it looks like. They got 2 new launches for China, the new Avalon, which is basically like the old style Camry. And of course we've got audio over the top now. And of course the new FJ Land Cruiser, which is, you know, bringing one out of the greatest hits catalogue. A lot of people are enjoying sitting down on this stand as well, actually. But they do have electric cars. They've got the BZ3, which is based on a BYD, or built with BYD, I believe. Some interest in that, and some interest in the RAV4. So yeah, more people at Toyota than I expected. Then we got some camper vans. Won't really go into the details of them. Can we get onto the iCar stand? This looks like a lot of people are being kept off the stand. Okay. Right, they're going to do a demonstration, so I'm going to have to try and find you an angle of their new car, which is this one here. So that car there is the iCar 03T. It's a larger version of the iCar 03, which is the yellow one over there in the middle. This is a bigger version. I do have some information on this one, if you'll bear with me. It's an electric car. It'll be called the JQ J6 in international markets. You can see it's a little bit wider. The tyres are a bit wider, the wheels are a bit bigger than the standard 03, which is the green and silver ones over there. Bear with me, I'll try and get you the information about this on my phone. Give me a look at it there. Right, they're doing a show, so I'm going to move away so you can hear me, if you still can. So let me get to the details of this one. It is the Mazda, by the way, the EZ6 will be an EV with 190 kilowatts on the rear axle, 160 kilowatts on the rear axle for the extended range electric vehicle, combined with a 1.5 litre engine that doesn't drive the wheels. For that iCar, rear wheel drive, single motor, 135 kilowatts, not super powerful, 220 Newton meters of torque. Being bombarded from both sides by sound now. God, let me just move away from this sound a little bit. Why do they have dancers at auto shows? I don't understand. I don't understand. So 70 kilowatt hour battery, 520 kilometers of range. There'll also be an all-wheel drive version, which will be 205 kilowatts, 385 newton meters of torque, 501 kilometer range, and between 139 and 149,000 RMB here in China. What it'll be when it goes abroad as a JQ is anybody's guess. So now we're on the Exlantix stand. Let's focus on these guys. This is a brand from Chery, or more technically a brand from Exeed, because Exeed is the brand. There it is. These are quite popular in Russia, I believe, and the former USSR states. These are kind of mostly SUVs, but these are the electric ones. The Exlantix, or Exeed Sterra ET. Exlantix is the international name. Let me see if I can dive in the cabin here. You can see there, big screen in the middle, bit of wood on the dashboard. Not sure if we can get in the back seats. Let me see if I can find one I can get into. Try over here, hang on. There's a lady in there. So there you go, that's the Exlantix ET. Oh my word, I hope you can hear me. I'll try and record voiceover to make this bit sound nicer if you can't. This is the beautiful, this is the Exlantix ES. This is the saloon version. And that's a pretty hot looking car. It's a cracking colour. Wonderful colour on this car, this red. Similar interior, you get a big screen in the middle, dual wireless chargers, bunch of space in the back, but it's blacked out, so you won't be able to see it very well. But that's the Exlantix ES. We're going to try and get a drive one of those fairly soon. That's fully electric as well. And this is a normal Exeed. This is their latest CDM, which is a hybrid. Now Chery, the big boys, the big brand, parent company, going abroad as Omoda and JQ. There's yourself, that's a Chery. Here, it's a JQ abroad. I don't want to just focus on the electric cars. I'll try and give you some of the other stuff. Tiggo 8 Plus. This will also go abroad to Australia. Hang on, let's see if I can get around this car. It's the Tiggo 8 Pro. This one I believe is a 5-seater. The Tiggo 8 Plus might be a 6-seater. Could be wrong. Let me try and find something new over here. We've got a few new cars at Chery. This is the new Tiggo 7. So that's been updated a bit. New grille on that. We've got a couple of Fulwins though over here. Let me try and find you the Fulwins. I believe this is one of them here. No, I'll tell you what, I'll show you this one. This is a preview of an upcoming saloon from the Fulwin brand. It's called the E05 Stratos. And that's a pretty good looking car. That might be Chery's best looking car yet. We can't get inside, but you can see from the interior. There's a big screen in there, dual wireless chargers, lovely kind of grey over purple interior, and look how much space there is in the back there. Enormous space. And a screen here, look, on the side of the car. Screen on the outside to tell you the exterior and interior temperatures and things. And here's another screen on the side. These probably won't be on the real thing, but there's a screen for the charging percentages there as well. It's very sleek, looks very aerodynamic. Slide around these security fellas here. Look at that, that's a really good looking car. And the default about that, it's going to be an EV or an extended range electric vehicle, or both. Costs about 150,000 RMB, and the doors are opening electronically. Isn't that lovely? Give us a better look at that interior. Inside there, no cameras behind me. Look at the carpet, it's got like starlight patterns on it. Concept car, not going to be fully like that, but it's not a million miles away from production. And I love those seats, by the way, if you can see those in there, really nice. Let me see if I can find the Fulwin T11. It's going to be over here, I guess. Is it one of these two I'm looking at? Right, this is the T10. So it's just kind of a extended range electric vehicle. You can see the interior there. This fella's going to get out, I think. Is he getting out? No? I'll show you the dashboard there. Sorry. There's the dashboard. This is basically like the big Tiggo 9, but a kind of a somehow maybe more luxurious version of that. I'm not sure. One of the car alarms is going off over there. This is a Fulwin T9, a little bit smaller. Where is the T11? I was sure the T11 was was brought here. Maybe it's this one. No, that's also a T9. Okay, so I'm not sure where the T11 is. But details about the T11. It's got a, I want to try and find it. It's got a 30-inch screen inside. Maybe they didn't bring it. It's got a 30-inch screen inside. 17.3-inch rear screen. 23 speakers. You can control the seats with your voice. Comes as an extended range electric vehicle. 1,400 kilometers of range. 300 of those are EV only, but it is not on the stand. So my apologies, I can't show you the T11. Next up is Jetor. I'm going to probably skip this one. The car alarm's still going off, and there is a party going on over here. I'm just going to try and walk through a little bit and show you around. This is the Shanghai T1. Looks a bit Land Rover Defender-esque. And a little bit like a Volvo EX30 at the back. This is the new Jetor. I forget what it's called, honestly. Dashing. The new Dashing. This is my best Chinese there. Right, the big show going on over here. What are we looking at? Dancers, of course. Why wouldn't we all be looking at dancers? What is this? This is an L7. Another SUV there. Seriously, the sooner we get back to a serious auto show, the better. JMK Stargazer. This is a Jetor. This might be the T2 or a modified T1, I'm not sure. This is a brand from Chery, so all the Chery brands are on this side of the room. Let me just show you what happens at a Chinese car show. Do we need that? No, no we don't. No thank you. Pretty but not necessary. Right, there's a Xinglao, I think it's called. No, it's not loud, something else. Stargazer. Right, that's just all. I'm going to move away because the sound is too overwhelming now. So off to hole 4. Right, here we are at hole 4. 4 more holes to go. What have we got in here? First up, Arc Fox from Beijing Automotive. People are queuing for cakes and stuff, I think. They're not trying to get onto the stand. See if I can just dive through here. Thank you. So, Arc Fox. They've got this, the Kaola, the koala to us. The car designed for new mums. Showed you this in Beijing. I won't go into too many details. It's got different features in here, designed for new parents. You can actually put blinds up, I believe, to stop people watching you breastfeeding your children. There's a fridge that can cool milk or keep it warm. There's a whole bunch of features in here. I've completely forgotten them since. It's a bit of a weird looking car, actually, at the back at least. There you go, it's a weird looking car. And you don't see that many of them. They've also got the AT5. Pretty sharp looking thing. It's a bit like an ID Unix. Of course, they've got the Alpha S. This one is the full Huawei kit. LiDAR, LiDAR, LiDAR. Alpha T, SUV. The Arc Fox AS, or Alpha S5. This is fairly new. It's quite a fast charging car, this one. Very quick car. So they're playing a video game inside there on the screen, look. I want to try and get hold of an Arc Fox. Oops, sorry. I want to get hold of an Arc Fox to review. But they're not easy. I've seen a few of those though. They are very sharp. I think they're on an 800 volt platform as well. Seems like the crowds have got bigger after lunch, so there you go. That's the Alpha S5. Now Smart, of course, they've got a new car now, and they didn't bother cleaning it for us. I'll take you over to it so you can have a quick look. I don't think they've got any open ones to look inside, but the Smart #5 is this one over here. It's absolutely filthy. The biggest Smart ever, which they'll have you believe is a good thing. I'm not sure it is, but there you go. It'll sell more cars. That one comes with 250 kilowatts on the rear axle. 76 kilowatt hour battery, or in all-wheel drive version, 165 kilowatts on the front, 267 on the back, 432 in total, and 100 kilowatt hour battery. And there's a Brabus version with a 310 kilowatt motor on the back, the one from the Zeekr 001, for a good 475 kilowatts of power. It's a lot of power for a smart car. 570 to 740 kilometers of range on the hashtag 5. Can we get inside? We can. Here we go. There's a look at the inside of the hashtag 5. Twin screens on the other side. I believe down here there's a speaker, a Bluetooth speaker you can remove. Funky details in here. Look at that. Look at this. The vent covers, big speaker on the dashboard. Can we get in the back seats? There's some ladies in the back seats. Tinted windows, so I can't show you inside there. It's quite funky. It's a bit boxy. It's kind of round and boxy at the same time. But it's not easy to get a look inside because people are having a look. And of course, you can turn it into a full off-roader. That's one of the things they're trying to advertise, that you can go camping with it. Real camping, real extreme stuff. And of course, Smart is a 50-50 joint venture now with Geely. The other half is Mercedes-Benz. And this is the Mercedes stand, which has got a bit of AMG, a bit of Maybach. It's a big stand, this one, all the way down there. Mercedes currently leading the premium car sales in China. They're overtaking BMW, who have put their prices up, and it's not working out for them. Who would have figured that? The deals are not happy. BMW, presumably, happy to sign its own death warrant in China. They're still selling fairly well, but not as well as Mercedes now, who've retaken the lead. There's a new E-Class. I don't think they've brought anything new here. What you can see, of course, is the EQS at the back there. Got a G-Wagon, still loads of those in Beijing, and a G-Wagon that can drive up that hill over there, and a Maybach GLS Night Series. So a lot of cars. I mean, what are they doing for the Chinese market? What are they doing to suit the customers here? Let's have a look. Back of an EQ. What is this? The EQS. Twin screens in the back, but huge bezels on them. They're like the same screens they had in Mercedes back in the late 2010s. Got the same hyper screen in the front, but it's not that interesting. EQS sedan here. Saloon. Doesn't seem that popular. EQE. Totally empty. Same hyper screen in the front. There's your legroom in the back. There's your dash at the front with your triple screens. But it doesn't really feel like they're doing much for the Chinese market. This car should have a fridge in it. Should have a rear screen in it. Should have bigger screens, 4K, Dolby Atmos, 7.1.4 surround sound. Things like that. That's what Chinese consumers want. Work to do at Mercedes-Benz, but a nice stand. Now, HIMA, the Huawei Intelligent Mobility Alliance. Let's take a quick look at their big car. We couldn't really get a good look at this in Beijing, but we can now. They've got the Luxeed, Ito and Stellato brand cars on the stand. This is the Stellato. This is going right up against those cars we just looked at, the Mercedes-Benz, the Audis, the BMWs. That's Stellato. That's Ito. Check out the lights on the front and the lights on the back. Sorry, the lights are basically the same lights. And these are super luxurious. I'm going to try and get as close as I can. But you've got twin wireless chargers in there, big screen in the middle. You've got electric door mirrors on the side. The DIN displays right at the back of the dashboard. Look in there. You've got a projector screen. These guys are watching a film on a projector screen in super luxurious seats. Super luxurious seats in the back there. That's the back end of the car. Looks a bit like the Luxeed rear end. So kind of like combinations of design tracking across. And over here is the Luxeed R7, which they're not letting anybody get near. But that's the bigger SUV brother of the Luxeed S7, the saloon. And I do have some information on the R7 actually. You can see it's got a LiDAR unit on top of the screen, and it will come with Huawei's Chengdu system. What have we got up there? For the, no, I thought I had some information about this. I don't. Oh, no, I do. Rear wheel drive, 215 kilowatts. All wheel drive, 365 kilowatts. 100 kilowatt hour battery, up to 855 kilometers of range. In fact, it's right here. It is available. to see. I don't think you can look inside. You can only get pictures of the outside. So you can see, it's got the look-see looks at the front. Let's go on the back of this guy's camera here. Don't want to get in the way of his shot. But that is the R7. Let's take a little glance around the front here. Get ourselves a nice angle of that. Nice little blue colour here. There's a lot of action going on over here. I'm not sure what they're showing off at the back of the stand here. People queuing up to win something or see something. There's the back of the R7. Again, they're not showing us the inside of it just yet, but they have released the outside. It looks, again, looks a bit like, I'm not sure if I'm getting the name Byron right, I can't remember. Stewie's enemy from Family Guy. It's got a bit of that looking about it at the front. It's not Byron, is it? It's someone else. I'm just forgetting the name right now. Yeah, and there's another one in grey, if you want to see it. Loads of attention over here. What are they waiting for? Are they looking for the boss of Huawei or something? Is he around here? I don't know who he is, but what are they waiting for? They're all queuing up for something. Try and look on the camera. I can't see what they're looking at. There might be some celebrity over there, maybe. That tends to get people's attention in China. Here's a Stellato again. Can I dive inside the back of one of these? Are there people in the back? There are people in the back of that one. They're going big here. Going big with a lot of show, a lot of Stellatos to display. Let me just show you that screen in the back of the car there. There you go. There's your screen, and over there is your projector. And there's luxury seats. So it's a very nice car. Nice guy there getting out of the way so I can show that bit of the Stellato S9. Let me just guide myself through these people here. Sorry, sometimes I'm not looking at the camera, so I don't know where it's pointing. I'm just trying to guide my way through a throng of people. And again, let's reinforce the point. Look at how many people are on the Huawei stand. About 40,000 sales. Sorry, Huawei. Well, yeah, it's kind of Huawei. About 40,000 cars being sold in China. The S7, this one, looks really mean in black. There's a car I want to review on the channel pretty soon, if I can. That looks quite stunning. Soon, stay tuned, it's coming. But Hyundai, another H. Now, interesting Hyundai. This is the Ioniq 5N, of course. The one with the fake gear shifters, even though it's electric. Here's a more racy looking version of that, and an Elantra racing car over there from the Chinese Touring Car Championship. Elantra N. So it's pretty beast in the Hyundai racing colours. But this 5 is not coming to China. At least not yet. So why they keep showing it here, I don't know. Maybe they showed it in Beijing. I'm pretty sure they showed it last year. They keep showing it. Put your money where your mouth is. Sell it. Sell it here on the Chinese market. Let's give it a try. I want to try the Ioniq 5. I'll get in touch with my Hyundai people, see what's going on. This is the Santa Fe, of course. Nothing too new for you abroad there, so I'm not going to go into details about the Santa Fe, or the Tucson, or the, what are they calling this one? The Mufasa, which was the angry guy from The Lion King. Hyundai going big on the stand, but honestly, haven't really seen numbers of sales, but they are going down, I think, in China. You see less of them now than you used to. But maybe they can still make a comeback if they can start bringing some of their electric cars. But at least this time, they didn't show the Ioniq 6. Maybe they worked out that nobody wants that one. Now this is Polestones. It says ROX up there somewhere. But this is Polestones. This is their SUV. It's very much in the mold of a liauto. Same kind of neat grille. So the same kind of stuff, sorry, inside the car. Dive in there. Only one screen in the middle though, inside there. Let's try and get around the back of this lady who's presenting. They got a screen in the back there, you can just see in the back of that window as well. And side loading door at the back, 6 seats that fold into the floor. Let's have a quick look in the black version. Quite luxurious this, it is an extended range electric vehicle. But they're very rarely seen in China. Right, that's the end of Hall 4, off to Hall 3. Right, into Hall 3. A few local brands, a few Japanese brands on our right side. GAC, Guangzhou Automotive. They're showing off a bunch of MPVs. An M6, an M8. I mean, just look at that grille. Look at that. E8, this is an electric MPV. and an E9, which is a plug-in hybrid version of the M8, I think. You can see captain seats in the back, screen in the front, but it's not turned on. Some made a bit of a splash at the Chinese New Year show this year, when it was not so subtly placed into a storyline. We've also got a few SUVs. This is a GS4, which is basically an MQ that's not as... well, it looks a bit like an MQ at the back. Also looks a bit like a Toyota RAV4 at the front as well. There's the GS8 over there. We've reviewed that one in the past. They also have a hybrid version of the ES8 over here, the ES9. GS8, sorry, ES9 over here. And we've also got over at the back, let me slide past this fella. We've also got over at the back the MPOW R, which is a rival for the Elantra N and the lynkco 03. Right, Volkswagen import. These are the ones that are not made in China. And as you can see, these ones are not very interesting to Chinese consumers. The Touareg. A few people looking at that one. This car's empty. This car's empty. No one's looking at that apart from the cleaner. And this one's also, just has got a couple of people in. So yeah, that's that. Maxus. I've never seen a white van man who wants to do that with his van, but maybe there's a white van girl out there. To be slightly sexist, who might want to put some pinky, fluffy stuff on their car, but I highly doubt it. This is one of their MPVs, not one of their most attractive ones. That's the Maxus MIFA 7. That's also a MIFA 7 on that side. There's no one in this one, so I can give you a quick look at this one. Interesting, Maxus going with the cameras. So there's your screen inside, there's your mirror. Same on the door on the other side. JBL speakers, triple screen setup across the front there. Single wireless charger, heads-up display. There's your back seats. This front seat, look, turns all the way around. How does it do that? How does the front seat face backwards? Or is that a custom version? Very interesting. Okay. That's new. I mean, if you want to see this funny little MIFA van, Maxus van, over here, the V1. Little panda pillows and stuff in here. We are in Chengdu, and over there you've got a little tiny screen on the dashboard and nothing else. Some cup holders, some vents, bit of storage above the dashboard there, loads of space. That's Maxus's van. Here's a MIFA 9. You can see how luxurious these are. Look at the reclined seats in the back there. Not quite as big as an LEVC, who I don't think have a stand here, which is a shame. If you want to see about the LEVC, the London Electric Vehicle Company, British taxi company, they've got a new MPV and it's enormous. Check out our video on the channel. Maxus, of course, doing vans as well, and over here doing a pickup truck. Just slide behind the cleaner, and on the back of this dude there. 1 second. There we go. There's your Maxus pickup truck. Okay. Now Mercedes-Benz. I don't believe these are actual Mercedes. These are custom-made vans. But again, you can see fancy light setups in the roof, crazy luxurious seats, little screens in the armrest there for seat stuff. Tiny little screen at the front. Bigger screen up there in the roof, so it's nice to show you these a little bit closer. But that grille is absolutely horrible. That's a Kasheng. So I believe all the kind of Vito company translators, all the Vito modifying companies are all gathered on this stand. Not Vitos, they're V-classes, sorry. Vito's the van version. I'm not going to go through those. Chevrolet, sorry, no, Durant Guild, which is some kind of heritage side of General Motors. They brought some Tahoes, you don't see those very often. And a Corvette, the new Corvette, which I haven't seen in person yet. Is it C8? C8 Stingray, I think. It's got a fascinating interior on this. If you haven't seen the inside of the C8, check out the buttons along that line, just there. That's a line of buttons on that piece of kind of convex dashboard. Maybe Chevrolet will let me drive one in China. Let's see. All right, over to Audi. This is Shanghai Audi. We've already seen one Audi stand. There's a Q5 e-tron. This one, I believe, might be getting tariffs. Made in China, sold in the rest of the world. We'll get tariffs in Europe. Right. They're going to start talking, so I'm going to move away from Audi, because that makes things very difficult indeed. So here, these shows, it's best to be a little bit rough and ready, I find. Now look at this enormous beast. What is that? That's a Crown. No, it's not a Crown, it's a Lexus. What am I on about? I've never seen one of those in China. Lexus also has actually quite a bit of interest here. There's a few Lexus people around. The customers are interested in the NX. Nothing new here, I don't think, on the Lexus stand. The same old stuff as usual. Foreigner guys interested in a Lexus for some reason. RX 450h, and they have not brought an LM, so they didn't bring the luxury MPV. Now this is the Hongqi sunflower, golden sunflower stand. Over there in the middle, actually over here, this green one. This is the Guoya. It's their new kind of flagship car that people can buy. This is about 1.5 to 2 million RMB. Super low profile on that. Let's get around the tree. Big car, long car. It's not going to be easy to try and drive one of those, but there you go. See how low they sit. Here's a concept car, but this one was in Beijing. I'll reiterate my point, just in case Xi Jinping watches this video. Please turn up to an international event in this, because that would be amazing. It needs more lights on it. At the back, you've got the new L5. That blue car over there. I'll put some pictures on the screen because I sat in there yesterday. That is the new version of the president's car. Available with a 3.3 litre V6 or a 4 litre V8. Hybrid electric vehicle. About 465 horsepower, something like that. Now we've got standard Hongqi. So they're combustion engine cars. Sorry. I won't go too much into too much on this because there's no new ones here. Apart from the HX7, which has got a plug-in hybrid version, it would seem. And then we've got Hongqi New Energy. This logo here is Hongqi New Energy. So here is the EH7. That's the EH7. Let me try and slip into one of those for you. Oh no, that's the only one. Isn't that interesting? They brought their... I mean, this is also a Hongqi electric, but that's more of a ride-hailing car. Plug-in hybrids don't count as Hongqi New Energy, I don't think. So yeah, I mean, that's Hongqi. Right, we'll go over to Hall 2. Okay, into Hall 2. We've got a bit of noise in here, so let's hope you try and hear me over this. In here, a few Chinese brands. Wrongway, brand of SAIC. Basically their most mainstream brand. I believe they sit just below MG. Who are also here, the next stand up. D5X. There's people inside, so I can't get you close to that one. Let me see what I can find. This is the D7. A lot of people on the Wrongway stand, funnily enough. That's their saloon. And have they got their SUV, another one over here somewhere? No. Okay, so I can't really get you close to their other SUV, their electric one. But none of those are going to come to Europe, I don't believe, in that form. Actually, this is the hybrid version of their SUV. Right, MG, Cyberster, taken to pieces on this stand for some reason. If you have a crash, this is what it might look like. Of course, we've driven the Cyberster on our channel. See our review of that if you want to. There's the Cyberster. Not sure they've brought the GTS prototype here. They've not, okay. So there's the, looks really good in yellow. I wouldn't mind one of those. Now MG7, this one may be coming to Europe as an MG. We've seen this one before on our videos. If you haven't seen, some screens on the dashboard there. Not quite as modern as electric cars, and it's not an electric car, but it's pretty mean. That's just a petrol car. It's not even a hybrid, I don't think. Next up, we've got Buick. So a US brand. Let me slide around these people. Geely are busy with some music, so hopefully that's gone off by the time we get back. Buick, of course, have the GL8, massively popular car in China, but losing popularity because it's not electric. But there's a plug-in hybrid version. Their market share rapidly depleting here in China. Hang on, I need to sneeze, one moment. Let's just slide through these people. A surprising number of people on the Buick stand, given its relative lack of popularity in China. But they do have an electric car, the Ora E05. You don't see many of those. Chevrolet are doing the performance. But there's nothing to see over there. So I won't take you to Chevrolet. Deepal. This is a brand of Chang'an. Electric and extended range electric. Now you will know this is the SL03, which comes as an extended range vehicle or electric. This is the car that the Mazda EZ6 is based on. Here is the L03. This one comes with the Huawei's Chengdu system. This one's more for the less sporty, more for the autonomous drive features. You'll recognise that interior from the Mazda, fairly similar. They've also brought out the S05, which is a new small SUV. This one comes as an EV with 175 kilowatt motor, 56 kilowatt hour battery, 510 kilometers of range, or as an extended range electric vehicle, 160 kilowatt motor, 155 kilometers of EV range. And I don't have the full range of that one, but see inside, fairly neat. Big screen in the middle there. Very decent size in the back. It's a bit smaller than the S07, which is over there. That's the S07. This is the S05. I'm pretty sure it's a bit smaller than the S07. And of course, they got the G318. And Deepal will go abroad to some markets. Not entirely sure when, but they are coming. That's the 318. A little bit more boxy, a bit more curious. And quite a few of them on this stand. Notice the raised rear wing there, rear spoiler, on the L07. Let's try and move away from the music. Let's head to Geely. Don't think they've got anything new over here. There's a Geely Panda Mini, as popular as ever. Here's your Radar RD6. Review of this coming very, very soon. Pickup truck. There's your Stingray, I think it's called, or Boya. They've got another dance performance over here. This is the E5, Galaxy L6, what am I on about? Galaxy L6. The E5 is the small new one. Where is that? It's over here. There's your E5. Here's another one that we can see more close up. Rival to the BYD Atto 3, otherwise known as Yuan Plus. See a big screen in the middle there, dash display, heads-up display, Fly Me Sound, Fly Me Auto sound system, wireless chargers. There's a dancer here actually, on the front of the stage. No grille at the front. Looks pretty neat though from the Galaxy range. Fully electric car, that one. We'll drive that one soon. Galaxy E8 we've reviewed in our channel. Looks great in that matte grey colour. Anything else of note over here? Let's take a look. Sorry. Everyone gets freebies and bags and stuff around here. Sorry. Not allowed through that way because there's someone filming. Try and get around the back. Oh, here we go. Look, here's the LEVC. LEVC L380. Check out the video on our channel. Massive car. It's like a Zeekr 009 but bigger. You can recline the second and third row seats in there, and you can get 8 seats. But this one only has the 6. You can get 8 seats in that car. It's enormous, super spacious. Right, off to Volkswagen again. This Volkswagen stand has quite a few people on it. This is probably the SAIC Volkswagen stand. Got cars like the Tharu, which I don't think we get in Europe. Also a Tharu. Don't know what the XR stands for. Lamando. I mean, they're just Volkswagens. What can I say? There's not a great deal to say about them. And a little bit of Skoda on the end. I didn't think Skoda were going to be here. But there they are. Got yourself the new Octavia there. And then back to Volkswagen again. Right, final haul. Let's go. Haul 1. Here it is, final haul. Haul number 1. And we've got some goodies and some baddies in here. So let's go and see. It's very crowded. And do you know why? Do you know why? This is the Xiaomi stand. Look at the queue. Even now, 4 months after its launch, after everybody can buy one, everybody can try one, the crowds at Xiaomi are just incredible. I mean, look at the people, look at the humanity in here. Everybody queuing up to get on the Xiaomi stand. Check out Lei Jun's new beast. Don't tell me they're not popular. Don't tell me they're going to fail. No one with that amount of interest in them can fail. They've survived all kinds of videos of their cars having accidents and software glitches and things like that. They're selling more than ever, 14,000 a month in July, I believe it was. They're going to over-deliver for this year. It's a great car. It's not perfect, but it's a great car. That's the colour I would go for, that beautiful orange colour there. Look at the number of people around that stand. Still the most popular stand of the show. Even since 4 or 5 months since our last time. Right, Great Wall Motors, which may be our final. No, we've got one more Chinese brand to go before we're finished. So Great Wall Motors, they have several brands. One of them is Ora. You've got these guys in Europe. That's the Lightning Cat. This one you don't have. Wait a second, what's a Volkswagen Beetle? No, it's a Punk Cat. No, sorry, a Ballet Cat. They haven't actually brought out the Punk Cat, which is more Volkswagen Beetle-like because the lights are oval-shaped. But yeah, you let your trademarks collapse and stop bringing out new Beetles, and someone else will do it for you. So there you can see. Let me just dive into that dashboard now. No one's looking. Super kind of like glitzy, diamondy stuff around there. Retro wheel, twin screens, wireless charger on the middle there. Heritage style cream and brown seats. Quite a lot of space in the back, much like the original Beetle. It's a lot bigger than an original Beetle. Press the button, no, pull the handle. There you go, that's your Punk Cat. Here's your Ora Good Cat. What are they calling it now? The 03 in Europe. There's a GT version, not sure if you get the GT version. We got the Wei Lanshan over here. Wei is another of their brands, hybrid brand. See a screen in the back there. You know, a quick look in the front. I'll show you the front, hang on. See, twin screens at the front, big screens, heads-up display, big screen down here, wireless charger, lovely cream interior, big speaker system. Who knows, maybe these guys will have a Huawei system next year as well. We'll soon find out. At the back, they've got the Gaoshan, so Lanshan, Gaoshan. This is the MPV. Pretty hideous grille on the front of that thing there. But big interior, reasonable sized screens in there, single wireless charger. Again, it's a hybrid. These little kids in the back enjoying these reclining seats. So you got a third row with 2 separate seats, so it's a 6-seater in there. So that's way. I mentioned earlier that the Bronco is getting its arse kicked in China. Might have to bleep that out actually for YouTube. This is why. This is the Tank 300. Again, fairly big screens in there. Lovely interior. These are getting quite popular in Australia as well, I believe, at the moment. It looks a bit like a Bronco, but a Chinese version. They've also got a, that's also a Gaoshan, I believe. Where are we? Tank, this is the 500, I think. Tank 500, also a hybrid. Looks like an enormous Land Cruiser style vehicle. And now Great Wall have also brought out this brand, Souo, S-U-O-S-S-O-U-O. So yeah, they're into motorbikes now. And it would be fun to drive one of those. Speakers look a lot like a Honda Gullwing. Let's get a come on. Let's get a look at this. This is a big motorbike from Great Wall. Big engine on it. I'm not sure entirely how big the engine is. I'll try and find the information for that. Ultimate luxury. Interesting. Tank 400. This one is quite cool. Bit chunky, bit robust, bit rough. And I like it. Very big. Big screen in the middle there. Decent legroom in the back. That's the back end. That's the Tank 400. And this, I believe, is the 700. 700 is even more rugged and futuristic. Of course, the staff are standing in front of the car instead of letting people get good photographs of it. Understand who your customer is. Looks very G-Class at the back though, look at that. Even like the G-Class concept with the small horizontal lights at the bottom there. Another car I would certainly love to give a try, have a go of. Great Wall, of course, also have Haval. This is a Haval, let's dive in while we're here. Little girl's playing with the big screen here. Okay. She's worried that I was looking inside the car. There's the Haval H9. Well, they've got a few different Havals. I don't really know Havals too well. Big dogs, cool dogs, all kinds of dog names here in China for the Haval series. This one looks like it might be quite new. Can we walk on this stand here? Maybe we can. I think this is the one we just looked at. Sorry. Okay. There's a little kid presenting a video there. Sorry. There's the Haval. Green, lovely green colour. Green is the new black in China. Green is the new black. You heard it here first. Genuinely, you did. And then, of course, we've got the Porsche brand at the end. That's a big Haval. Look at that one. It's a big SUV. We've got the Porsche pickup trucks. I think these might be on sale in Australia, but I'm not sure. And in some other markets as well. Great Wall are in more markets than you think. They're just not the ones that you know. And they've even got a Porsche camper van conversion over there as well. Look at that. All right, our final Chinese brand of the day. We just counted about 4 or 5 on the GWM brand. Here's the final Chinese brand. It is the Netta brand. We've done the Netta S, the Netta GT. They've got a new hunting wagon. Actually, since we last did, I think, we had this one. This was the last show, the Netta L. It's got a fridge in it and nice seats. But this is where it gets interesting. Here we go. This is the Netta S Hunter, or Hunting, which is a station wagon. It's an estate. And I've got a little bit of information about this in my pocket, if you'll bear with me. So, 593 litre boot on this car. I'll just film around the back there and show you that boot in there. It's an EV, 200 kilowatts on the rear axle, 510 kilometers. That's the 400 volt version. See here, massive portrait screen. I'll just dive in after this fella. Sorry. Massive portrait screen there in the middle. And they did used to have a screen on this side, but it looks like in this version you don't get it. Interesting, okay. Hang on, let me just straighten my bag out. Just taking my microphone off. So yeah, 400 volt platform. That's on Netta's, what's it called? Shanghai platform. And then they've got an 800 volt platform, skateboard chassis, 800 volts. That one is 370 kilowatts, 200 on the back, 170 on the front, 640 kilometer range. It is on CATL's CIIC skateboard chassis. One of the first electric cars on a skateboard chassis. So, super fancy there. Sure that lady's filming me. And it's also available as an extended range electric vehicle with a 200 kilowatt motor, 300 kilometers, EV only. So that'll be interesting to try that one out someday. Right, that is your Chinese brands. I'll finish off now with, sorry, no, there's one more. This is Beijing. My bad. This is the Beijing brand. This is their BJ60 SUV. I think that's available in some markets abroad. X7, which might be called the Rubik's Cube in other countries. Sorry, I'm going to go to the back of this car. They're taking photographs of models next to the car. Sex still sells. Always has, apparently. We've also got the EU5 Plus. They've got the BJ30. There's the BJ30 over there, again with denim-clad models all over them. There's the BJ30, a bit smaller. BJ40, a little bit bigger. My throat's getting very sore now, towards the end of this video. BJ60, a big one. Let's slide around the back of the camera guy again. I'm going to dive off the stand. I don't want to walk through any more photo shoots of models at the car show. Right, can we get onto this stand? Ah, here we go, it's interesting. CATL. Check this out, by the way. We're going to have a video of CATL's pavilion, which is here in Chengdu. These are all cars that use CATL batteries. Biggest battery maker in the world. Provide a lot of batteries to Tesla. Apparently they've given batteries to 2 million Teslas and never had a fire incident in those, which is impressive. And it says a lot that they can showcase an entire stand in and amongst the cars at a car show. It tells you just how big they are. It's how much they want people to know that their batteries are safe. So there you go. Right, that is the Chinese brands. I'm not going to count CATL, they're not a car brand. Although they do make the platform for the Netta V. Sorry, the Netta S wagon. Let's finish off with a whimper. We're on the Honda, GAC Honda. This is a joint venture between GAC, Chinese company, Honda, who you all know. They are making some electric cars. They did show some off recently. Have they got them on the stand? Yeah, we got one over there, sorry. Let's dive around this lady. He's not sure quite where to go. What are they calling this one? ENP2. So kind of a coupe-like rear end. This kid is interested, at least one person. Look at this. This little kid looking at the car. There's the stand. Everyone's looking at every other car. This is their EV. No one's looking at it. I'd like to try it. It's got a heads-up display. But not much interest there. And finally, GAC Toyota as well, another joint venture, again, with GAC. So these guys produce the China market cars, like the Frontlander, like the Highlander, like the Sienna, like the Wildlander. They're all Landers. And again, no electric cars here except this one, the BZ4X. You see these mostly operating as taxis. One person looking at it, but he works at the company, I think. Kind of a rectangular screen in the middle, pushed back, DIN display there. A lot of physical switchgear, very Japanese. Again, all the interest on the rest of the stand. So that is it for the 2024 Chengdu Auto Show. Thank you very much for joining. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Again, as I mentioned at the start, my nose is running. Again, as I mentioned at the start, if you found value in this video, if you'd like to stay interested or up to date with the Chinese car market, do please give us a subscribe. Press the subscribe button so you see more of our videos, you get notifications about them when they arrive, or you can see them in your subscriptions tab. Give us a like so more people can see our videos. Give us some comments. Tell us about what you'd like to see on our website. Tell us what you think about the video. Tell us what you think about Chinese cars in general. We reply to all the first comments on the channel and some other ones that we catch later on. So apologies if we don't reply to the ones later on, because there's thousands of comments coming in. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Again, congratulations for making it this far. Thank you for subscribing if you do already. We really appreciate those of you that do subscribe. And as ever, we will catch you next time.